Welcome, race fans, to the Friday Night Showdown series, sponsored in part by Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated and ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting. The All-Star race tonight. Your ETV Live commentators are Mike Keaton, Sean Petchin, and Michael Conti tonight. Dakota Ehrman and Ben Kilcrease working to bring you updates from crew chiefs tonight from pit road. Over the course of the last 12 weeks, Jared Crawford would command the series from the cockpit of his race car, becoming the series champion after just 11 events, leaving race number 12 up to the rest of the field to sort out for second place. Tonight, we're gathered here for a showdown at Road America to have some fun with the drivers from the famed Friday Night Showdown series. So let's go upstairs to Michael Keaton and Sean Petchin.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to Road America, the B-Car All-Star race presented by Gary Mercer Trucking. And I tell you, Sean, we got a heck of a race tonight, don't we?
Oh, yeah, we do. I really appreciate you guys having me on to cover the All-Star race on the road course at Road America. And, man, this is going to be something special to watch.
Yeah, I tell you, Sean, just take a look at all the turns that these guys have got to make. All season long, these guys have been making the left-handed turn, but coming to Road America, Sean, you know just as well as I do, these right-handers. Can we kind of go ahead and explain the right-hander, Sean?
Yeah, one of the great things about Road America, that obviously is going to be different than oval racing, but one of the things that's really great about Road America as a road course is it offers a lot of mixture of left and right. It's about a 50-50 mix all across the track with varying degrees of speed. We got some real fast bends, including the kink on the backside of the racetrack, as well as some really technical corners like that Canada corner as well. So it's going to offer these drivers a unique challenge, and it's going to be great to see how they handle these large Impala stock cars around this facility.
Sure will, Sean. And also, too, 14 turns here at sitting off the bank of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 14 turns at this circuit here, and half the turns are right-handers. So, again, these guys are really going to be tested, put to the test. I know these guys have had an awesome time and awesome season with the B-Car. With the oval side of racing, but I tell you what, Gary Mercer Trucking has really put together something special here for these guys tonight here at Road America, and gonna see what Dakota's got for pit road tonight. Dakota, I know we're doing the first race as a 10-lap shootout, no pitting will be involved, but that second segment of 40 laps, we could expect some pit strategies. What's everything looking like tonight?
Well, guys, Iracing is throwing us a curveball with the new build. The tires are just a little bit different. The setup's had to be modified. Fuel mileage, looking for that second race to stop or two, but we're really not expecting a whole lot of changes. I mean, the build caused a few problems, but it's not looking to be too difficult, you might say, for tonight. And I think tonight's gonna be some good racing, especially for road courses for these oval guys.
And I tell you, Dakota, as far as the turns and are concerned, I had a chance to catch up with Justin Thompson, a pro driver, earlier today, and he took me through what it was like to drive Road America, and we're going to show a little video of him doing just that. So have fun with me, guys, as you're listening along, and ride with Justin Thompson at Road America. Hey, race fans, this is Mike Keaton with ETV. Alongside with me in the booth right now is pro driver Justin Thompson. Justin, take us through Road America and the B-Car All-Star race tonight in one here.
Well, going down here into turn one, you're really hard on the brakes, try not to lock them up. It's a good place to pass if you can outbrake somebody into turn one. And you're setting yourself up for your best corner entry into turn two, hard on the brakes again. Second gear, come out of that. Rocket down here.
Now, Justin, I understand that 1 and 2 is kind of hard, but turn 3, which we're coming up on right now, is one of the hardest turns.
Yeah, it's real hard to set up for this turn. You go all the way from fourth down to first gear to get a good run off the turn. It's another good place to pass at, but you know, it's a luck of the draw thing.
Coming out, I guess that's turn 3 there. Entering turn 4 here, Justin. Also a little tricky here, but not too bad. You get on the gas kind of quick there. Got a long straightaway here now.
And you get all the way back up into third gear. Just let it trip the light on your tack a little bit, and then you're hard on the brakes back down to first gear, and you go into second into the Speedville here through this long sweeping corner. You got to be real careful. The rear end of the car's wanting to get light with you. Tires are wanting to give. You get right back hard in the throttle coming out of Speedville though. All the way up into third gear into here. Just tap the brakes, set the nose. Real fast turn, real easy to lose it there. Then you're back on the gas hard into the next turn.
Tell you what, you're going to have your hands full tonight at Road America, as this turn right here is almost all the way down to 50 miles an hour, Justin.
Yeah, that one's kind of crapshoot, I guess. If you get in good, you can stay in second. If not, you're in first gear to get a decent run out of the corner.
And this is what I like to call the roller coaster here, coming up to the Caterpillar Walkway, Breezeway here. Long straightaway. I like to call it the airport runway here, Justin.
Yeah, it's definitely long. You got a lot of time to think about getting into turn one.
I tell you what, Justin, good luck tonight. I know you'll have your hands full. You think you got a shot at winning this thing?
I probably got a pretty decent shot at it. I ain't got probably the best shot at it, but I got a decent shot. As long as I can keep it on the track, I'll probably have a better shot than most that way, because, you know, if somebody gets off the track, they're going to lose some time. If I can keep it on the track, I'll be able to keep making time.
All right, good luck tonight, Justin, and everybody stay tuned. Up next, the Gary Mercer Trucking B-Car All-Star Race at Road America. All right, and we are back, and Sean, I tell you what, taking a look back at that again, I know you've got some time in the race car at these road courses, but for me, I don't see how you guys do it.
Well, it's all about position, honestly, when you go through some of these corners. Setting up to be positioned absolutely perfect for entry to get maximum speed off of exit. And that's certainly one of the things you could see as well with these big stock cars and their 4-speed transmissions. Putting the power down out of some of these corners can be quite tricky, as we've seen in turn 14 there, as the back end was stepping out as he tried to apply that throttle. So the key tonight is going to be to use all of that course, use all of the curb, and make sure that you get good entry for maximum speed off the exit of those corners.
And two, the way that he talked about gearing down in some of these turns and corners, one he mentioned going down all the way to first gear. Could you imagine possible pile up there, engines blown there just from gearing down too fast, too much, keeping that RPM gauge up real high, tacked out? But I tell you what, it's going to be fun to watch. Road courses are always fun for these oval track drivers, and I know these guys are gonna have a lot of fun.
Well, I tell you what, just watching what I've seen so far, I'm kind of upset that I'm not in the car myself. It looks like a blast, and I really look forward to watching it.
Yeah, I tell you what, and we're getting word that the track has just opened up, so we're going to start going racing here pretty soon. Not just yet, but we still got a little bit of time to talk about some other different things. But right now we're going to go ahead and go to a commercial break while we all get our tickets to the ticket tolls, and we'll catch you right back here in just a second.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. All right, welcome back to ETV Live's presentation of the Gary Mercer Trucking All-Star Race here tonight. This is the Friday night shootout, guys, and I'll tell you what, after 12 weeks of racing, it's all come down to a night of fun here on Thursday night with the All-Star Race. We've got a bunch of us tuned in for the race here tonight. R.J. Williams along for the ride. Tommy Harris in the house tonight. Linda Lou. Larry Scott, 84, he's along for the ride here tonight. Of course, Chris Largan, that's Chris 75 up there on the top. Welcome along for the fun here tonight. The guys are getting ready to get loaded up here in the server. We're actually going to bring you a couple of events happening here tonight. There are two 10-lap qualifying events, heat races here tonight. And we've got Dakota Ehrman via satellite from the other, what we'll call race number 2, or the race B, the other 10-lap heat race here. So as soon as Dakota lands, he's in the ETV Live jet copter on his way. Michael Keaton and the crew, they're getting settled here at track number 1 for the first 10-lap heat race here at Road America, Cowboys. So I'll tell you what, Michael, how are we doing, bud?
Getting set, JD, for a good race tonight. Really pumped up about this Gary Mercer Trucking All-Star race in the B car here at Road America. I tell you, Sean, 10 laps for the first segment. Halfway through, we're going to do something special. Just stay tuned for that. And I tell you, Sean, this segment won 10 laps. It's all or nothing. Now, keep in mind, all drivers can make the second segment. This is not a weed-out situation here. It's just a 10-lap warm-up, if you will, Sean.
Yeah, I don't see us having too many big issues in this first one, as everybody just kind of shakes out the car and gets a good feel as what it's going to be like in race trim. That second segment, though, is going to be real interesting as we see cars really push.
Yeah, and 240 laps in that second race here tonight, guys. So pit strategies, Dakota will come into play, and that's one thing that we'd like to talk to you about now is the pit strategies. At Road America, turning right, turning left, is left side tires now important versus not being that important in oval side?
Well, you know, Keaton, from my experience, oh wait, I don't have any. So for me, this is going to be a learning experience, like several of the other oval guys here. I haven't had the chance to talk to many drivers, as I'm still trying to run some down the garage area. But I think that you're still going to go for right sides because they've always worn more than the lefts for some reason, and I think that's still going to be, if you take 2, it's going to be right. So that's just what we've always done. There's still left turns, so we're just going to go with that for right now.
And also too, Sean and Dakota, Iracing, given the, I guess, the limitations, if you will, to the grill tape here. So being 10% increments should be fun to watch and see what these guys do on the grill tape. I heard one driver say, I'm not going to say his name, but I heard one driver say that this first race he's going to run 40% grill tape. So it'll be fun and interesting to see what some of these guys are going to run in that second segment, 30%, 20%, or even try to run 40%.
Yeah, I'm not exactly 100% sure how it'll all play out at the end of the day. Likely to see a lot of varying strategies, honestly, across the front of these cars. So, you know, I guess it's all who wants to win. I guess, as they always say, you got to risk it for the biscuit. So it'll be interesting to see who puts a lot of tape on to get the most out of that car.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the rundown here and warm-up. From the last session, Justin Thompson, I believe, is starting on the pole tonight in this 10 here, if you will. In about 2 minutes, 10 seconds, 2 minutes to 2 minutes 10, 2 minutes to 14 seconds is going to be your average lap times, I guess, here. So pretty lengthy race. You know, I guess you could say with just 10 laps, Sean.
Yeah, 10 laps, even though it doesn't seem like much for what usually we see on the ovals or some of the smaller road courses. 10 laps around Road America, which is an absolutely monstrous facility when you drive it. 10 laps is actually quite a distance segment when we get into that 40-lap race. That's going to be more like an endurance car race versus one of these kind of sprints.
Just going to take you a couple of the drivers to be watching out for tonight. If Jared Crawford can make it in, he has won the second the race of this season, the third race of this season, the 6, 7, and 8. Name it, 3 in a row. Jared Crawford has won. Another Justin Thompson, we mentioned, he won the 9th race of the B car season, and he's starting on the pole tonight. John Adams, look for that hood. He's got the ETV logo written all over it. That sponsorship was signed, delivered, and done today, this afternoon. And Chad Lawton, another one to look out for. But a couple more, Lance Williams, Michael Kearns, all these guys, Sean, in fact, the whole 40-car field that's actually able to enter the race, all can go to the second race and the third race. So this race can belong to anyone tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be great to see all these drivers kick off. Such a competitive field. It sounds like there's a lot of great talent out there. Now, I haven't been here for these other races, but just hearing the kind of resumes they've put together this season, it's going to be fantastic to see this, and it's really going to be anybody's ball game. And that's what's so great about the All-Star races.
Also, too, want to make mention Garrett Grant. I think he's unloading the car off the hauler. He has the most wins out of the 40 drivers that's in this race. Now keep in mind, there are some drivers in different divisions. I think all 10 divisions are represented here tonight, or at least 5 divisions are represented here tonight. In fact, Wayne Barrett, Michael Kearns in those Division 5s, Adam Long, Kyle McCormick in the Division 4s, Lance Williams looking pretty smoking fast tonight here at Road America, and then Liam Lambert in Division 3. And some other guys in here, Vi, runner-up, past champion, 2011, Jason Karlovich, runner-up for the 2012 series is Brad Mihar. And then Phil Juring, past champ, also 2012 season 1. So a lot of big-time names in here, Sean, and a lot of different type drivers here too. That's what I love about the road course.
Yeah, as we can see that we can see now that the race has actually got underway for our first segment, and Justin Thompson has actually taken the lead right out of the gate and opened up a nice little gap as he manages heading down in that very complex left-hander using all the curb. It's a beautiful sight as you look at all these cars as they string out. If you watching from a helicopter camera, you can see all these cars strung out across this beautiful landscape that is Road America.
Yep, Justin Thompson, pole sitter there, Sean. Being Sean, your race leader still. He got into one there pretty good on the start of this race. I apologize for not getting the race started on time, but we are live in action now, and Brandon Bowie sitting in second trying to run him down, Sean.
Yeah, it's all about managing the gap there for Justin Thompson. He's going to want to make sure to not, for 10 laps, still a long race, but he's going to manage that, try to keep that car behind him, and make that second place car chase him down and try to wear out those tires.
Looking back here with Joe Slama in the 41 machine sitting in third, and Jeffrey Parker just moved 2 spots up behind Joe.
Yeah, certainly when the cars get packed up like this, we got a lot of opportunities to pass. So a lot of guys maybe getting on the brakes a little early, and people jumping down onto the inside, trying to take advantage of those positions. Honestly, it's all about the outbraking on the road courses. Something that you're used to seeing at places like the Martinsvilles. Trying to get in the corner and put that down, put the brakes down. And now we've got these guys out here trying to outbrake as we go through the lefts and the rights.
Not sure why Brad Mahar down pit road here, Sean. Joe Slama down pit road, not real sure what's going on. As Justin Thompson, your race leader, pulling a little away from Brandon Bowie, who sits second, and Stephen Gilbert just 1.7 seconds behind Justin Thompson.
Yeah, it looks like second place is certainly looking like he's wanting to make a move on Justin. He's gotten right up on the back bumper there, and he's really working that car, trying to get around. So it's pretty interesting.
I tell you what, Brandon Bowie trying to close the gap on Justin here as they enter the turn here. This is the tricky turn, getting a little slick. There's Justin Thompson, a little bit of sand in the tires going through Speedville.
Yeah, now we go down through this real tricky carousel. You got to feather that throttle just right.
You sure do, Sean. That's a turn that's so treacherous that Justin Thompson told me about. The car's so light-ended there that it kind of wants to get around from you. And Justin Thompson pulling away a little bit as he makes the bumblebee sound on the rumble strips, blazing through one of the turns.
Yeah, Justin had a great run through the carousel and an excellent run through the kink.
Brandon Bowie trying to close the gap here. Lap 2 is completed so far, but looking back in the pack here, Jeffrey Parker got a little off the track there. I just noticed out of the corner of my eye. Byron Daly trying to run him down. He's a Pro Series driver here at Road America, so I know he's having a blast here running this road course.
Yeah, it's always great when you talk to these guys. They spend so much time during the season running in the left circles on the ovals and everything. And I mean, when you finally get to come out to a road course like this one, and you're using both sides of the car, the left and the right, to take these tricky corners and try to overtake as we do in the road racing world. I mean, it's just a real blast and a real treat.
Gonna take you through the current grits condition right now. Justin Thompson, race leader. Brandon Bowie, Stephen Gilbert's third. Brandon Durrell is fourth. And Jeffrey Parker fifth. And like I said, Byron Daly trying to get into that top 5 position here at lap 3.
Yeah, we see the leaders now heading down that real high-speed area into this real tricky left. We've got to be really hard on the brakes and try to wait till the very last second to get onto that brake pedal, but if you wait too long, you're going to go sliding off into the runoff. It looks like leaders get through there just fine as Brandon continues his pursuit of Mr. Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson just ran a 209.644 behind, or just ahead of Brandon Bowie's 209.918. So JT running a little bit faster as he's making his way through the Jacksonville Speedville breezeway there. But I talked to Justin Thompson before the race, Sean, and he had said that the brakes here, the rotors lighten up. Not really an issue right now with iRacing about the brake rotors, but they will light up. If you notice on the broadcast, if you see a little red indiglow on them tires, that's the brake rotors, and these guys are using a lot of brake.
Yeah, for really heavy cars like this, you're going to see a lot more of the brake bias put towards the front of the car here, trying to get that big nationwide car to stop as it goes into some of these really slow technical corners. You know, normally in the road course world we see a lot of the HPDs, you know, Acura prototypes and Indy cars go through here and they're able to get stopped on a dime, but you know, they don't have the kind of weight that these nationwide Impala stock cars have, and it takes a lot more brake to get them stopped as they head into these slower areas of the track.
Yeah, and it's so hard to keep your focus too about which turn you're in. There's so many. There's 14 turns here, guys, and half the turns are left-handers, half the turns right-handers, and you just got to keep in mind the speed that you have to keep on the straightaway. You see the 72 letting Brandon Jarrell go there on the front stretch there, going into one here, that real tricky turn, trying to get woed up.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we like to see on the road course racing, you know, like I said before, it's going to be about the braking, but it's all about momentum, just like it is on some of these smaller, ovals. You know, you got to keep the momentum through the corner and keep that car accelerated. That's no different than here. You get into those slower corners, but you want to keep a nice, easy momentum through the corner so that you can get back onto the power as soon as possible. Momentum is always key on these road courses, and trying to keep it, especially in a car that kind of has a laggy kind of acceleration like the stock cars do. Not used to the kind of stop-go grind that the road course presents.
Tell you what, Byron Daly trying to put the move on Jeffrey Parker. He's got him in his view. Can't quite put the move on him yet. It's so hard to pass here. But I tell you what, we're getting ready to bring in an update from the second split here, or the second grid, if you will. And that's the outside road, guys. And Dakota Ehrman is caught up with that second race.
I'll tell you what, Michael Keaton, I'm not alone. Joining me is pros or DWC driver Michael, second in points. Michael, interesting race here, turning right and left. It's been pretty action-filled so far, wouldn't you say?
Well, I just got in here a couple minutes ago, and I might have missed a couple things here, but I see Chad Lawton and Jason Karlovich, two favorites coming in here tonight with their teammate Crawford not showing up. They're back and bringing up the rear of the field, so not quite sure what happened to them, but we got a lot of action going on right now. We just had Brandon Schmidt moving the fourth over Ian Han, and right now it looks like Lance Williams is really starting to pull away from him, Dakota.
Yeah, he started second, getting through the field. Alex Scribner was up to fifth when I believe it was Ryan Engel gets loose as Chad Lawton starts to go underneath him. They collide. Chad Lawton hits the wall and comes up and collects Scribner, and that would end the number 8's car for today of Chad Lawton. That's what he's in the rear of the field right now, Michael.
Tell you what. I tell you what. I looked at Lance Williams in the open qualify, and the guy was really fast.
Yeah, definitely Lance is very good in these B cars. You see him do a lot of league races, and he's always forced to be reckoned with, so no different here tonight on the road course. Looks like he's really adapted to the right and the left turns tonight quite well. He's pulling over Mark Gomez right now, so he's in control. We're about halfway through right now in this field right now, so looks like he's putting himself into a position to win.
Fine Line Racing looking to start on the front row of the outside right now, as he is the league owner, I believe, the league owner of Fine Line Racing. Looking to start on the front row, guys, so we're going to throw it back up to the other split, or race, as you might call it, for the rest of the race.
Tell you what, EDV innovation. I tell you, JD and John put these two simulcast races together. I tell you, it's turned out to be really cool, and getting to show it off here a little bit more tonight at the B Car All-Star race sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking. And back out front, Justin Thompson pulling away, Sean, 2 seconds on Brandon Bowie.
Yeah, Justin's really done a great job opening up that lead, putting it up to about 2 seconds on Brandon. I think they finally just kind of realized, you know, let's just get through here, move on to the next segment and be done with it, as he's kind of fallen off. And while we were away getting the update from the other split, we also had Brendan Gerald, the number 20 car, currently in 9th position. He was right behind that Byron Daly battle, went off the track and into the gravel pit, didn't get enough brake in the front of the car, and slid right through. So, you know, again, road courses can be tricky, but it seems as though Justin Thompson's doing a phenomenal job at the moment. It looks like he's put it out to almost 5 seconds now, 4.5 seconds.
Yeah, I tell you, Justin Thompson really got his A-Day game on right now. And keep in mind, this is the real cool thing about this race here. This is the inside road guys. And so it kind of mixes the field up in all kinds of levels. You got, in the second split, you've got the outside road guys starting in the next race. So it kind of evens out everybody's play here, and kind of puts a little fun, I guess you will, for this first little warm-up race.
Yeah, it's always great to just get out there, find out again in the race conditions. You know, maybe some slight adjustments will occur between this and the main race, obviously, as we were talking about with the tape earlier. But it's great to just get out there and get a race under, because, you know, when you're not racing on these road courses on a regular basis, you get out there and it starts to get your heart beating a little quick because you don't know quite what to expect. But with this 10-lap interesting layout that they have for this All-Star race, it's really given the drivers an ability just to go out there, run at race pace, and kind of figure out exactly where they need to maybe tidy up for the big shootout here later.
And if you're just joining us, Byron Daly started 14th in this first race here. He's worked himself all the way up to 5th spot, from 14th to 15th. So far, he's got the Move of the Race award in my book.
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime you can get out on the road course and really put together some laps and some moves really like Byron's done, I mean, you can just tell he's excited and having a blast out there, heavy on the brakes, overtaking cars, getting great runs off of some of these technical corners as they head down onto the straightaways, and it's really made a difference as he's been able to come all the way from the back to 5th place.
But I tell you what, he's got his hands full. That rear view mirror is full of Kyle McCormick in the 72 Chevrolet. John, this is the one I'm watching, position 5, position 6. Kyle McCormick all over the back door, as close as they could get at a road course, I guess, of Byron Daly as a rocket down the front stretch.
Yeah, right now Kyle McCormick's going to be having a great time because he's just watching Byron, seeing how he approaches the course, how he takes these corners. As you know, every corner different, and you want to start studying the guy in front of you to set up that pass, and that looks like exactly what he's doing. Maybe Byron, through charging through the field and making these passes, got kind of worn his car just a little bit. I know it's not 10 laps, but like I said, Road America is a large facility, and when you go 110% the whole time, even at 10 laps, you're going to start to see a little bit of a drop-off there.
And I tell you, Kyle McCormick trying to get into that top 5 spot. He's still off all over the back door of Byron Daly as they come through this real tight corner here. He's still on the back door of him.
Yeah, Kyle took a look at the inside as they went into that heavy braking area, but it just wasn't there, and he didn't want to obviously make a bonsai move and take both cars out, so it's unbelievable. He's just setting them up right now, seeing how he takes these corners, and is looking to make his move. And it looks like that corner, that real tight left-hander might be where he does it. Oh, but the 91's got off.
Yeah, I'll tell you, just got word, Justin Thompson just got into the grass a little bit. That caused Brandon Bowie to come in and close that gap up a little bit, but not going to hurt Justin too bad. He's still at a comfortable lead. But I tell you, Byron Daly, Kyle McCormick, Kyle almost looks to the inside as they go through this one turn here. Real fast turn through there. The battle still here, guys, is for 5th and 6th.
Yeah, Byron had a real issue there. He went off before getting into the carousel. He went off a little bit, and that was got Kyle right alongside him there for a second. And he's definitely got the momentum, and he just followed him through the kink. You're obviously not going to make a pass there. 1-lane high speed. You don't want to do it there, but he is smelling blood in the water at the moment, and it's all over the back of Byron Daly.
As we go 4 laps to go here at Road America, these guys having their hands full here with the first race. 10 laps. The second race is going to be all but more exciting. 40 laps, and going to have a huge car field. Right now, just 14 cars in this one, but we'll double that capacity in the second. And I tell you what, we're going to check in on that second race. Dakota?
Yeah, standing here with my buddy Michael Conti still, the DWC driver, and Lance Williams just kind of, I believe his lead's kind of shrunken from 3 seconds to 2.7, so Mark Gomez starting to close that gap, but Lance looking to be mistake-free so far, Michael Conti.
It looks like Mark's really trying to mount a late race charge right here. You see him go down in all the high-speed braking corners. He's really lighting those rotors up so he knows it's go time, and he'll get some fresh brakes in that thing for the main race here. But yeah, he was like 3.5 seconds behind a couple laps ago. Now he's really closed it in. He's 2.7 behind that time, but we all know how big this place is, so you can really see the live gap even closing as we speak. They're going through the fast right-hander right now, right before the kink, so it looks like it might be closer to about 2 seconds right now. They'll be coming to 2 to go, Dakota. I don't know. I think Lance is really going to have to slow it way down for Mark to catch him, or maybe make a mistake, which he hasn't all race, so it's really going to be hard for Gomez to close this gap, but as big as this place is, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, some of these corners being a little troublesome. We saw Ian Hahn almost go off, or I think he did go off in the grass when he was closed on somebody. The different braking points. I know I want to talk to Sean about this, but everybody has different braking points, and Ian Hahn almost ran into the back of somebody, had to go through the gravel, lost a spot or two trying to do that to avoid.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. He and Brandon Schmidt were having a good battle for the 4th position. Brandon had overtaken him, and it looked like Ian was really focused on the back bumper of the 19 and just kind of missed his braking point enough to where it really threw him off, and he got the left sides in the grass and just carried him into the gravel trap. But I'm looking right now back to the lead again. It's closing it even more. We're 2.3 seconds now, Dakota.
Well, as Mark Gomez is closing on Lance Williams here, we're going to throw it back up to the main race for the rest of the coverage here.
Speaking of getting close, Stephen Gilbert got real close to that wall, spinning it almost, coming way off the track there, losing the position to Kyle McCormick. He gets up into 5th. Byron Daly moves up to 4th, and Stephen Gilbert in 6th, but trying to chase McCormick down, Sean.
Yeah, it looked like they had a real issue there under braking. Looks like he just lost the car, spun it into the gravel, and he was sitting on your final podium spot at the moment, but then Byron Daly and Kyle McCormick went right through, and I'm telling you, this battle has not lost any intensity as Kyle McCormick is continuously looking up the inside of Byron Daly. One of the things that was mentioned from Dakota on the other race is the braking points that we see, and all these drivers are going to have different braking points, and they're going to be working real hard to make sure that they're hitting their marks and hitting those brake zones. But it does present some interesting passing challenges. Like I said before, it's going to be all about the out-braking heading into some of these technical corners, and it looks like Kyle at the moment. Oh, and there goes Byron off again, as McCormick's going to go to the inside in the carousel, but nothing doing, and allows Stephen Gilbert to close up on the back end. And man, this is turning into a 3-car shootout.
Justin Thompson still out half a second, guys, but the battle still here is for 4th. Byron Daly solidifying that position right now. McCormick all over the back door. Gilbert's there. He's wanting some action back in the top 5.
Yeah, Gilbert really pushing through the kink there. One of the problems we had, though, was that Kyle McCormick got into a bad position heading into that carousel, and he wasn't able to capitalize, really killed the momentum, and he dropped back, allowing Stephen Gilbert to close the gap and make this a 3-car battle. All the while, Byron Daly is hoping that Stephen Gilbert gives Kyle McCormick all he can handle so that he can try to open up that gap and relieve a little bit of the pressure, as he's been under fire. The race started.
Tell you what, McCormick in the chalk and Oreo, but he's given up the position there. The number Gilbert moves his way back into top 5 position. McCormick now in 6th.
Yeah, and the one guy loving this, Byron Dick, looking at the mirror, seeing these two go at one another, and he's able to just keep on going and focus on the track ahead of him. As a real drag race down the start-finish line, but again, Kyle McCormick getting just a little bit sloppy, allowing Stephen Gilbert to make the move and reclaim 5th position.
Keep in mind, folks, this is your last lap. Leaders are on the last lap. This time out will be the checkered flag. Justin Thompson in the number 1 spot right now. Brandon Bowie trying to make something happen. He's going to need a miracle to do it. Sitting 3rd is Jeffrey Parker, he's okay. Byron Daly, Stephen Gilbert, Kyle McCormick is 6th.
Some high drama there for Justin Thompson as he enters the carousel. Looks like we had one of our lap cars, look like JP Gidley getting a little out of shape going down through the gravel right in front of the leaders. So he did dodge a bullet there, but as he heads through the kink for the final time, it's going to take something short of a miracle to stop him from winning this first race.
And Byron Daly not really got his hands full. Stephen Gilbert giving him a little room. Kyle McCormick giving Gilbert a little bit of room. So those guys would probably finish 4th, 5th, and 6th, but it's not over till the fat lady sings, Sean.
Yeah, there's action happening right now as Thompson's heading to the checkered flag. Looks like he's going to be unchallenged. But as we look back in the battle that you were talking about, the cars are spreading a little bit through the kink. I don't know if they're just going to kind of wait for the next race to play out, but Daly looks like he's going to take that position, and Gilbert doesn't look like he has much to challenge, but one mistake could change that.
And here they come to the airport runway. Justin Thompson under the Caterpillar Breezeway, gonna win your first heat race, 10-lapper. Brandon Bowie finishing 2nd. Jeffrey Parker 3rd. Byron Daly 4th. Stephen Gilbert 5th. Kyle McCormick 6th. Chad Coleman 7th.
Yeah, great race out there. Some fantastic action in these cars as Stephen Gilbert did give a nice little nudge to Byron Daly as they came up to the start-finish line.
Tell you what, we're going to throw it down. Dakota and Michael Conti, who is in race number 2, an update. How did it finish, guys?
Well, Lance Williams was going to hold off that lead by 1.7 seconds. Lance Williams is going to start on the outside row in the first row. Mark Gomez is going to bring it home 2nd, and Ryan Engel 3rd. Michael Conti.
There just not enough time. He definitely had the pace to win, though, at the end there. It seems like once he got around Engel, it was clear sailing for him, and he really cut that lead down quite a bit. So we'll just have to see in this main race here. Mark might be one to look for, and Lance had really good pace to everyone else. 3rd, 4th were just a tick behind, but I think we're going to have a strong field, Dakota. We're going to have about 28 cars in this main race, and 28 cars at Road America. It's going to be intense. It's going to be action-packed, and you're just going to have to make sure you don't, put any tires off. It's a long race, and if you screw up, it could really make for the rest of the race.
Yeah, we got to watch out for those game points to play in effect and make sure everybody doesn't run everybody over or try to pass in the wrong spot. So it's definitely going to be interesting. But at this time, we'll throw it back up to the guys covering the main race.
Sounds like you're in race there in I guess you could call it the feature race 2. But I tell you, we're going to try to get Justin Thompson up in the booth. He won your first heat race here. And Justin Thompson started first, finished first. How did it feel, Justin?
Oh my God, that was a workout, son. I tell you what, boy. Oh God, good workout.
Tell you what, you had your hands full with Brandon Bowie there. You got a little in the grass there. Got you a 1Xer or a 2Xer there, but able to keep the car under control and wheel that thing around. How'd that feel?
That was quite possibly the scariest moment of the race for me, so I was just praying that I could hold on to it.
I tell you, Justin, back behind you for 4th, 5th, and 6th. I tell you, one of the greatest battles on the track that I've seen at Road America. And Stephen Gilbert, Kyle McCormick, and Byron Daly battling it out. Byron able to finish ahead of good battling for 14 cars here at Road America. Anything you think you got for the second race at the 40-lapper?
Oh, I sure hope so. Car ran good this first race. It worked out the way I needed it to work out, but, who knows what the stars hold for the next race.
Tell you what, I think you hear your phone ringing, the sponsor calling to congratulate you on your first win tonight. Justin, good luck in the 40-lapper. We hope to see you in victory lane again. I'm going to throw it down to Dakota, who's standing by with your second segment. Race winner, Lance Williams.
Yeah, standing here with Lance Williams. Lance, you got an interesting sponsor there. I'll let you thank them in just a second. But coming down to your race, you were being ran down by Mark Gomez. What was going through your mind?
Well, I didn't really get a long run practice run in, and that's what I was just praying that I could finish it off.
Did you think he might be able to catch you, or were you just think you might have it in the bag?
I figured if I make a mistake, he'd get close, but he wouldn't be able to get by me with just a couple laps left.
Well, for someone who didn't practice a long run, you went mistake-free, and not many guys did that, including the other split, the winner of that. He made a mistake, just one, and lost quite a bit of time. But you were mistake-free. Explain how you did that.
I do a lot of the V8 races and stuff, so it's just you kind of gotta get yourself settled down and just keep hitting those marks. You kind of just gotta get into a zone and not get distracted by what's happening behind you or in front of you.
Well, who makes it happen for you, bud?
Butt pace and fine line racing.
So there you have it, guys. We're gonna throw it back up to JD, Michael Keaton, and Sean Petchin.
All right. I'll tell you what, Justin Thompson in the house tonight. Lance William picking up the win from the other second race there. And lots of fun here on ATV Live, and I'll tell you what, we got a house full in the chat room over there. Looks like Mr. Wright has joined us. Pet, Sean, Trey is in the house, M. Gomez, Indaloo still hanging out, Larry Scott, just a whole host of them over here, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, we're having some fun here tonight. We're going to go ahead and cut away, take a commercial break. Before we do, I want to tell you about OpenPaddock.net. Join Sean Petchin and company on OpenPaddock.net every Tuesday night live on ETV Live, premiering this Tuesday. Actually, we just saw the premiere. You can catch it next Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Sean and the boys for Motorsports and Brief catch the IndyCar updates, and I'll tell you what, just a fun show. We had a good time with them last Indy updates. All live right here on ETV Live on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. So right now we're going to go ahead and cut away, take a commercial break. We're going to get ready for race number 2. That's going to be the 40-lap feature coming here in just a few minutes. So wander on, boy. We'll be right back. Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. All right, welcome back here to the All-Star race here. This is the Friday Night Live, or Friday Night Live. Read it from the script, damn it. All right, I'll tell you what, this is the Friday Night Showdown group seen on ETV Live here every Friday night. We just completed a 12-week session. Jared Crawford going home with the big one here. And we're getting ready for season number 5, sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking. I'll tell you what, Cowboy, ain't no better trucking company than Gary Mercer Trucking. You can catch him at gmercer.com. But getting set up right now, guys, for the 40-lap main event. And following that, we have a 20-lap showdown, shootout coming your way. So you want to stick around for that one, too. Tell you what, go get you a cold one, get your bag of chips, get you a slider, hot dogs, the wings, whatever it takes, Cowboy. Let's go on back up to the booth to Sean Petchin, Mike Conti, and Michael Keaton.
Hey, race fans, welcome back. Getting ready for the race number 2, 40 laps, guys. Justin Thompson looked like he's starting on the pole. Outside him, your second split race winner, Lance Williams.
Yeah, Lance, Mike, Lance, the winner of the other race, the second race that was covered here. He was pretty quick, so I think Justin's definitely going to have something to worry about from him. Mark Gomez was also fast, and there might be a couple other guys that just come out of nowhere. So I don't think Justin's going to run away with this one like he did with the other one. I think he's going to have something to work for this time.
Michael Conti getting around pit road and around this road course in that, what is that, a trolley that you're riding on?
I don't know what to call it, but it's some sort of motorized something that's taking me around. They're kind of weird up here in Wisconsin. I don't know what they call it.
I tell you what, $120 in racing credits to be won here tonight by these guys. Justin Thompson going away with your first race winning. Lance Williams in the second race, he wins. 40-lap race. Going to be interesting, Sean.
Yeah, for sure.
Also going to be real long, too. 40 laps. These guys completing laps on an average between 2 minutes and 9 seconds all the way to 2 minutes and 15 seconds race pace. And, of course, the later in the run, the slower the times do get. But, Dakota, there will be pitting in this race, 40 laps here at Road America. How long do these guys, how long can these guys go on fuel?
Well, we are not quite sure to the exact number, actually, Michael. I'm actually going to run the garage area, and I'll get back to you on that one.
I tell you, 40 laps, they're going to have to pit. Not sure if they can cut it in half, 20 laps pit, then come out 20 and do 20 more. But grill tape's probably going to be a good factor here tonight. I know the race before, some guys were floating around 40%, and not sure. Conti might know, or Dakota might know more about the tape.
Okay, well, I just ran up to a crew chief and asked him really quick. We can go about 18 laps. That was from Ian Hahn's crew chief. Now the tape, there was a concern. Somebody ran 40% last time, and he blew up on lap 9. There was somebody that said he ran 20% tape, and he said he was running really hot at the end of the race. But I believe 20% might be the mad number, actually, Michael Keaton.
I tell you what. Getting set here, guys. Going green here just in a couple of minutes. I know these guys are anxious to get on this track. 40 laps, and after this race, keep in mind it's not over. 20-lap showdown, and that's going to be the big one for the winner there. And I tell you, Gary Mercer Trucking doing a fine job getting this race set up. The B-Car All-Star race, these guys taking a break off this past season, and just having a little fun here tonight. A bunch of different guys in here from all parts of divisions. I tell you what, we're going to throw it down the trackside with the Cactus Cuties with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Gentlemen, start your...
All right, we're back, guys. Starting stats here. Justin Thompson sitting on the pole. Lance Williams in second. Brandon Bowie third. Mark Gomez fourth. And Ryan Engel going to start fifth. Now, guys, this standing still here is going to be pretty interesting. These guys piling into one here. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think as soon as we head off into the first corner, it's going to be real interesting to see what kind of, what happens with all the cars. I mean, we've got a lot more cars now than before, so it's going to be real interesting to see how these guys react. And there's going to be a lot of checking up, and if there's an incident, then there's going to be a lot of more checking up and potential for some incidents as they roll off for the pace lap, it looks like here.
Yeah, rolling Justin Thompson in that SkeletonOptics.com Chevrolet on the pole on the first move into the right side, and Lance Williams starting on the outside, if you will.
Well, I'm just now actually getting information over the radio about a competition caution at lap 20 here.
Yeah, there will be a competition. So would it make sense for these guys to do unscheduled pit stops then?
I think at that point I think at that point it's not really going to be advantageous. I think that 20 laps is going to be good to go, and there's not really going to be any reason to duck in early. And I'll tell you what, we're going to go back to the grid here, starting in sixth, picking up with Jeffrey Parker, Byron Daly, the pro driver, Ian Hand sitting eighth, Stephen Gilbert ninth. Tyler Hill starting 11th. Kyle McCormick, who put on a heck of a show in that last race, is starting 12th. Chad Coleman starts 13th. And the number 17 Chevrolet, Samuel Sneed Jr. and Joe Slama starting 15th. Yeah, in 16th place we got Patrick Davis Jr. 17th place in the number 20 car, Brandon Jarrell. 18th place in the number 51, Alex Schreibner. And 19th place, Brandon Schmidt. 20th place will be the 88 of Liam Lambert.
21st, Zach Hudson, Michael Kearns in the 68 machine starting 22nd. Chris E. Pence starting in 23rd. And in the number 13, Gary Mercer Trucking's own Brad Mahar. And the number 13 Chevrolet starting 24th. Brandon J. King starting 25th. And that's going to do it. 25 cars for this 40-lap race. 14 turns at Road America, Mike. And I tell you, it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it certainly is. Like we mentioned before, a lot of cars trying to get the same real estate to turn 1. This isn't all that wide of a track when you get down there into turn 1 and turn 2. So hopefully these guys keep their heads on them like they've done all season long on our Friday night broadcast, and just try to get through the first couple corners, spread themselves out a little bit, and then worry about making up spots when the time comes.
And I tell you, in that first race that was broadcasted in the number 3 machine, Stephen Gilbert, Kyle McCormick, and Byron Daly putting on a heck of a show. They got a lot more cars to compete with here now. 25 cars in this particular race, 40 laps. Everyone will advance to the 3rd final showdown, which will be a 20-lap race.
Yeah, it's still going to be awesome racing, though, because you're going to want to definitely see how the car reacts as you go into that last 20-lap shootout for sure, with all these cars on track.
And I tell you, Justin Thomas patiently anticipating the pace car to pull off here to the right. The Caterpillar Breezeway just ahead. Justin Thompson going to lead them down to get the green flag to complete the first lap here at Road America.
As we watch them all head out into turn 1, they got building up that speed down the straightaway. I'm going to be watching to be very careful into turn 1.
Very careful indeed. The top 10 get through the corner fine, looking back through the rest of the field. Everybody's fine. Turn 1, no disaster as they head into 2.
Justin Thompson again doing a great job, getting a great start off of that off the green flag as he crossed the line. He's opened up a little bit of a gap already to Lance Williams as he looks certainly to be the man to beat.
Single file all the way back to 7th position where Byron Daly holds. Mark Gomez looking on the inside or the outside of him. Can't tell the turn coming up. Everybody gearing down. Byron Daly off the course a little bit, but he manages to hang on to the car. A little bit of sand just visiting the beach, I guess, guys.
Yeah, as you head down in that area, I mean, you got to be real careful. You're building up a huge head of steam, and you got to get on those brakes. And when you're trying to overtake a car, it does not take much to miss your braking point and go off and lose the position. So it's all about trying to make that pass and then make it stick as you head into the next set of corners.
8 or single file. But looking at the number 90 machine in 7th place right now, Byron Daly, who got on Stephen Gilbert in front of him. If you remember the first race, them guys were all over the place. Chad Coleman behind Byron Daly trying to make in that top 10.
Yeah, we were certainly to do a great race between Byron Daly as well as Stephen Gilbert in the last race, and it looks like we're going to be treated to another great battle here in this longer 40 laps.
Tell you what, Conti back out front. Lance Williams move him up to the number 2 position. Conti, you were able to watch Lance in the second split. The guys trying to reel in Justin Thompson here. Lance Williams into 2nd position, Conti.
Yeah, Lance is he's kept tabs with Thompson for the first lap here, and as Thompson trying to break the draft because I mean you really can get quite a bit of tow up this long straightaway, and Justin's going to do everything he can so Lance can't take a hold of that. But Lance is right there right now. You've got Bowie there in 3rd, and Engel in 4th, and Gomez. I mean the top 5 or 6 cars are fairly close together for this large of a track and that long of a first lap. So it looks like the top 5 or 6 are really close right now as you see 38 of Bowie starting to close in on Williams a little bit for 2nd.
And looking through the rest of the field, all 25 cars are on race pace. Brad Mahar is bringing up your rear right now in 25th position, and that Gary Mercer Chevrolet sitting 20 seconds behind your leader, Justin Thompson, but no one's quite that far off pace as these guys continue to run single file in the top 10 here.
Yeah, it looks as though everybody's kind of settling into their grooves a little bit. Cars, as you can see, are kind of running off course. Some of these areas don't have as much curbing as the drivers would like, but you know, it's not uncommon in road racing to see a car kind of push it a little too far and touch that grass. Really shows them getting after it.
Looking back here in position 11 and 12 here, I believe it is the number 8 machine of Tyler Hill and Brandon Smith. They're going after it. Brandon Smith being able to be in this race. I believe he was a past champion is what solidified him in this race. I'm going to get some more clarification on that. But nonetheless, Brandon Smith running pretty good right now, sitting at 12 in that Menards 19 Chevrolet.
Yeah, everything looking really solid right now through the field. I mean, I don't really see, looks like a lot of guys are just kind of taking it easy. Again, that competition caution, you know, maybe just feel out the car, see how it's going to perform on 20-lap old tires, and then save the big runs for after the competition caution.
Brandon Smith, runner-up for the 2012 Season 4. That's what got him in this race, and looking pretty sharp out there, don't you think?
Yeah, I've not seen a bit of these cars at all put a leg wrong, honestly. I mean, a lot of these guys showed a lot of impressive pace at the moment, you know, getting their braking points down, establishing those marks.
Tell you who's establishing a mark right now. Justin Thompson continues to lead the race, has led every single lap here, although we are on lap 3. Lance Williams trying to make something happen with Brandon Bowie in third. Ryan Engel trying to close the door on that number 3 machine of Bowie as they head through the turn 5.
Yeah, we definitely got cars spaced out. Now, one of the things that you really want to watch here is as these cars really bunch up is how they really seem to bunch up under braking. It really shows the different braking points that these drivers are using as that number 6 car. Oh, and that car got really out of shape in front of the 6 car. Had a little contact from the front bumper into the rear of the car there, and it looks like they've got that all settled, and the 6 car sitting behind. But yeah, I mean, this is fantastic road racing at its best, and we're going to really see again. I'm really excited to see what happens on the last 20 laps. But right now, these guys are putting on a great show and driving this track really well, considering.
Just 3 laps in here too, Sean, and keep in mind a competition yellow will be thrown at lap 20, the halfway point of 40 here, and at that time everyone will come down pit road but Dakota. Pit road, the strategy for pit road here on that caution, will you see these guys take 4, will you see these guys take 2, a couple track bar adjustments? What kind of action will we be seeing on pit road?
I think, honestly, the changes they made before the race, I even spoke to Lance Williams. He was last race's winner. He made changes before the race, and what they've said is they're going to stick with the changes they made no matter what. 4 tires probably. He was a little upset with how the car was wearing, so most likely going to be 4 tires, especially for that team.
4 tires is rumor that we're hearing. And I don't agree, I agree with that call, 4 tires here. Have to turn the car left and right. Michael Conti, you probably got a little bit more input on that. Now, the new thing that we've been talking about, Conti, is the tape here. Will you see some tape changes? Will you see these guys come in on that competition yellow and maybe change that tape to 20-30%? I know some guys were blowing up in that second split, but what kind of tape would we see here?
From my limited testing today, because the new build only came out a couple hours ago, so these guys laid the thrash and try to make any adjustments they needed on these cars. But as far as tape goes, you know, tape really doesn't seem to be as much of a factor as far as performance and downforce as it was last season, because now we have smaller increments you can go up. So I'm pretty sure most of these guys are either on 10 or 20% tape right now, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to do too much to it, just considering that it's really only going to make you hotter and it's not going to pick you up that much time. That's only my opinion, though. I didn't take this B car out and test the tape, though, so it might be a little bit different than the Cup car. But I mean, I don't think you're going to see any drastic changes with tape. I mean, I don't see anyone going from 10% to 40% or something like that. I think they're going to stay relatively in the same window that they started the race off in.
Nonetheless, the strategy down that pit road will be the key factor to a possible position change, because it doesn't look like Lance Williams can catch Justin Thompson. The guy's just out front running consistent laps. He's in the 2-minute, 10-second lap times. And I tell you, the guy's just on a real, before the first race, we showed the the hot lap with Justin Thompson, and you can always go back and watch the E-Wine. We always post them after the race, so if you missed that, go and check out Justin Thompson's hot lap. The guy got it around the track with a 2:09 lap, which is pretty fast, guys, for this track.
Well, 2:09 is actually a real good lap time here in these cars, and one of the things that Justin's doing so well right now, and what you want to do as a road racer, is you want to establish that time gap. You want to get yourself out ahead a couple seconds. As we see now, the lead is at 2.13 seconds. Get out there, manage that lead, and dictate the race pace. By dictating that race pace, I mean really the world is open at that point. So as you can see, Justin doing a phenomenal job of that, as we now looks like we're about to have a battle between Brandon Bouya and Lance Williams for that second position.
Yeah, Brandon Bouya trying to close the gap on that number 27 machine of Lance Williams, who won the second split race. Brandon Bouya's finishing second right behind your race leader right now, Justin Thompson. But just a second ago, guys, the number 50 machine of Ian Hand getting a little loose on his own, a self-spin, collected the wall. That car's way out of shape. He's coming down pit road right now, Dakota. But I tell you, a lot of guys have been coming down pit road. Patrick Davis is down pit road. And I've seen some other guys, Alex Screbner. Maybe you can catch us up on the speed with that, Dakota. Why are these guys pitting?
Yeah, I was just about to let you guys know. I've been seeing guys coming down, two notable guys coming down pit road. Jeffrey Parker, who was in like the top 10, almost top 5, I believe. He's in the 6th. Came down, and his teammate Alex Scribner coming down. Fuel only. These guys don't think they can make it all the way. As I said, lap 18 was the fuel window, so they're coming down early to see if they can't just fill it up and try and almost short pit, basically, get that rear end down and make up a little bit of time on the leaders or anybody in traffic right now, guys.
Man, I tell you, that's going to make that competition yellow thrown at lap 20 kind of unique here, as Justin Thompson continues to pull away his gaps up to a 2.5 second lead over Lance Williams. Coming down to 6 to go here, guys, and we're going to take a commercial break, but don't you go nowhere. ETV Live is going to bring you right back to the action here at Road America in the B-Car All-Star Race with Gary Mercer Trucking.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup trucking, you need to move it. There's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. All right, welcome back to the Friday Night Showdown All-Star race here at Road America. Hey, I want to remind you, join Sean Peachin and Company with Open Paddock Live here on Tuesday nights on ETV Live. You can catch it next Tuesday, 9 o'clock p.m. Just click on the Open Paddock Live link on the etv-eplay.net. Let's go back up to the booth with Michael Keaton, Sean Peachin, and Michael Conti.
Guys still out front. Justin Thompson pulling away. 3.5 seconds put it now. But Brandon Bowie trying to put some sort of move on Lance Williams, who's running second.
Well, certainly one of the seeing out of Lance Williams' car, the number 27, is he is having all kinds of problem putting the power down. That car getting real squirrely coming out of some of these technical corners as he's trying to get on that throttle, and that's allowed Brandon Bowie and Ryan Engel to get right up on the back end there of that car as they now move through what looks like Canada corner as they look to complete yet another lap.
Yeah, I tell you, Lance Williams getting a little bit of love tap from Brandon there in one of the turns as they come through the front stretch now. But I tell you what, Sean, these guys have got to pit before the competition yellow, which is going to make this thing interesting. Justin Thompson out front. When's he going to pit?
If you're Justin Thompson, you're just going to push the car pretty much as long as you possibly can. You know, if he really depending on what kind of fuel mileage, you know, he's going to be getting off of his pace. If he's running a good pace, a real quick pace, he may have to come in a bit early. But if you're Thompson, what you want to do is stay out as long as you possibly can so that you don't have to worry about, you know, that way you can put more of a gap on those already kind of nice and warm tires. Because you got to think, you know, Lance Williams is going to be coming out of the pits. If he pits before Justin, he's going to be coming out on cold tires, and Justin's really going to focus on putting another one of those really fast laps that he's been laying down in this race so that he can build even more of a gap on Lance Williams and the rest of the field. So look for him to try to stay out as long as he can.
Guys, just wanted to go through the chat room here joining us tonight, and feel free to break in if something exciting happens on the track. But with us tonight, Alex in the booth, C. Johnson, David, and E.J. O'Rourke was signed up for the race, but kid's flown to Hawaii on vacation, and he's not with us tonight, but he got in this race via ETV points, and he sits on the sidelines watching this one instead. Firefly with us, Phil is with us, Jake, Larry Scott, Linda Lou pulling for, I believe that's her
son.
Yeah, that's the number 22, Davis. Patrick Davis running 24th right now. But don't let him fool you. The guy's got a fast race car, and his mom Linda in here tonight watching. Miss Mahar, that's Brad's wife there, or girlfriend, maybe soon-to-be wife. And M. Wright, Sean, Trey, and Twigman08. So thanks for joining us in the chat room tonight, guys. Sean, anything happening exciting on the track right now?
Yeah, we just had a spin actually from the 38 car. It looked like Brandon Bowie just lost it there, was sideways at one point on the camera.
But he was able to keep position, guys. That's Lance Williams in the 27 machine running second right now. Got a little squirrely. No harm, no foul. Still running second, though.
Yeah, Bowie's actually come down pit lane now. I don't know if he's go ahead and put the tires on or try to work an alternate fuel strategy to try to catch Justin. But yeah, Brandon getting a little bit out of shape there, and now heading down pit road to kind of collect himself and reassess the situation as we get closer to that competition yellow.
Tell you what, Sean, Dakota Ehrman got a little bit of information. Dakota, what can you have for us?
Yeah, I've been running all over the track, and I understand, because to me, a road course is just like a super speedway, a spotter, one of the most important things. And I believe Jeffrey Parker tonight. Larry Scott Jr. Larry, what's your job kind of like tonight?
Basically just make sure I keep the guys out of trouble, make sure they don't overdo the corners, stay on the track, and basically I just let them know what the guys are doing in front of them, what time's running, and also help them out with, you know, strategy, time to take, how much you take, stuff like that.
Speaking of strategy, what's the mindset with having them come down as early as they did?
Basically just get them out of traffic so they can run the fastest time possible, and basically pass some of the guys on the track without actually having to pass them, and deal with having to slow down to pass them and losing all that time trying to pass people.
And 18 laps of fuel, we were told. Is that what you guys are getting just about?
You can go like 18 and a half laps, but of course you got to pit, at the end of 18. So, basically 18 is the mark. That's about what everybody's going to get unless you do like a major fuel saving.
All right, well, we're going to let Larry Scott Jr. get back to spotting as Alex Scribner overdrove a corner, so we got to let him get back to his job so he doesn't keep doing that. Thank you, Larry.
All right, thanks.
I tell you what, Dakota, being a spotter here at Road America, Larry Scott got his hands full. Dakota, where in the world, being a spotter here, where would you spot from? A helicopter?
Something like that. It's kind of like blimp, as JD called it. Was it? I can't remember. It was jet cop. It was. It just kind of floats.
Yeah, I tell you, spotting here at Road America probably one of the hardest things these drivers trying to rely on that necessary spotter, probably mainly just there for communications with other things going on the track more than passing, because there's not really a whole lot passing here. But I tell you, running here in 16th and 15th and 14th, we got a huge battle. That's John Bunton, Jeffrey Parker, who's making a pass down the front stretch right now, and the 56 machine gearing it down, guys. Third gear, second gear, coming down pit road there as he passes the Chevrolet Breezeway there. John Bunton. Scheduled pit stop here, though, Dakota.
Yes, fuel only is called for him. Everybody's coming in and getting their fuel so they can get back out and make it to this caution.
Now, I'll tell you, Dakota, let's talk cautions and our competition caution here. The competition caution comes out at lap 20, and these guys are having to pit for fuel before lap 20. What kind of scenario does that set up for the second half of this race?
Well, I think you'll see them come in and just top off just so they can go as far as they can, and the tires, because if everybody's gonna be on pit road, you might as well get tires, especially if you're gonna. The only confusing part would be is the guys that came in early, they're gonna be in there longer, topping off because they've burned more fuel, so they might have more time to take tires than guys that come in later in the race and they have less fuel to take.
Tell you what, Brad Mahar starting 25th tonight, up to the number 11 position. The guy's wheeling around the track just past Brandon Bowie, who's been running second and finished second in that first race. Past him, and Brandon Bowie, but all over the back of that 13 machine there, Sean.
Yeah, we just had a moment there. It looked like Jeffrey Parker got in a little hot, had to move over, allowed Brandon Bowie to take the position, and now on those fresh tires, he's all over the 13 car of Brad Mahar.
I tell you, Conti, if you're that Brad Mahar in that 13 position, or that 13 car, that 38, all over the back door, Conti, coming out of the turn there, the little tricky kink, as they call it, the 38 machine trying to put the pass on 13 there, Conti.
Yeah, Bowie's probably trying to make up some lost ground that he had earlier when he had that little bit of an off, and we know his car is good, we know he's fast, he's able to keep up the pace of a top 3 car consistently. Mahar almost lost it right there. But I mean, that's what happens when you have someone right up your rear end like that. You're going to start making mistakes, especially at a place like this, which is so hard. Here comes the 38. He's going to duck out, get that draft. He's probably going to complete this pass into turn 1. If Mahar's smart, he's going to let him go so they don't go into turn 1 side by side, Mike, because, like I said before, there's not a lot of room down there. You really don't want to be pushing it this early on as he lets him go.
And I tell you, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Justin Thompson, race leader, Lance Williams second, and where's Chad Coleman? Third place, but 13 and a half seconds down from the race leader, Justin Thompson. I tell you, the guy's got that thing hooked up. Thompson, here in Thompson, Sean Thompson.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what's happened. It looks like he's had a slight situation. It looks like he's still kept the position, though, it looks like.
Whew.
Trying to see exactly what happened. Looks like... oh, yeah, sorry about that. Looks just... They're braking. He got in a little hot there and pushed just wide into the... Yeah, he back end started to come around and he pushed it into the gravel, but he was able to get back on the road and maintain position as he entered the carousel.
A slight scare for the Thompson camp, allowing Lance Williams and that number 27 machine to close in just a little bit, but not too much room. 11 laps completed here at Road America. 40-lap event here. Stay tuned after this race. This is just a warm-up race, guys. The next race is the big one. It's the showdown, 20 laps. And these guys, as we've seen, will have to pit, although there's no competition yellow in that showdown because of the fuel problems.
Yeah, it looks like one of the things that we should touch on that we haven't is Lance Williams has kept that car right, maybe not right on the back bumper of Justin Thompson, as he seems to be in a league of his own, but Lance Williams is within striking distance and has been the whole time, while the third-place car is 12 seconds off the pace at the moment. One of the things is Lance Williams could be kind of feeling out this number 98 car from Thompson, seeing how he likes to operate and how he runs the course, and we really could see a great battle in the second half of this race, as Lance Williams will probably look to really put the pressure on Justin Thompson and try to make something of it.
Tell you what, getting confirmation about the number 50 machine, Ian Hand. You got more on that, Camp?
Yeah, they said the car was just too much. They were just going to pull it in the hollow, or they didn't want to take the time to fix it. It is a long race, and it takes a lot of time to get laps in, but once you lose those laps, as he is 5 laps down right now, he wouldn't really be able to make them all up, and it would be kind of just like pacing around in 25th position. The race not for points, so there's really no point staying out here, guys.
Tell you, making our way back here into the 14th position, that's Liam Lambert and the 88 Mentos Green Apple machine. Man, I love Mentos, don't you guys? He's running 14th right now. Started 20th, up 6 positions, and still plenty of time to go. He's got Joe Slama, Alex Scribner, Jeffrey Parker, and Brad Mahar just ahead of him, as those 4 guys, Sean, running back-to-back here, Joe Slama, Alex Scribner.
Yeah, looking like a great battle back here in the mid-pack, especially, like you said, the 12th and 13th place, and that 14th position, number 88 of Liam Lambert, also putting together some good stuff here. I was watching him take some of these corners, some of these slower, more technical corners, and he's got a pretty solid line going, honestly. It's been good to watch, good stuff out of the 88 car, and a nice battle for a 12th position there.
Cody, you got more?
Lance Williams sitting second place, coming down pit road for his pit stop and fuel, looking to make up some time on Justin Thompson, guys.
Yeah, Justin Thompson not pitted yet, still being shown your race leader, coming back further into the field. 16th position belonging to that 72 machine, Kyle McCormick, who gave one heck of a show with Stephen Gilbert and Byron Daly in that first heat race. Kyle McCormick trying to make something happen here, sitting in 16th position, Sean.
Yeah, Kyle's running a good race. Not exactly sure what his strategy is going in there. Maybe just put down some laps and you know, feel out the track again. Again, it was a great battle he had in that first race that we had covered here on ETV Live, and looks like he's just settling in. One of the points about Justin Thompson, though, in that pit stop from Lance Williams, it really looks like that played into Justin's favor. As I said, you know, he's got the fuel mileage now. He's stuck it out a little bit on Lance Williams, and this is going to be crucial for Justin, as he's going to be looking to really push and get a good lap to try and extend the gap there, extend the time margin, and then see if he can't come out with a little bit more of a cushion here coming up.
Now, I talked to Justin Thompson, too, before the race, like I mentioned earlier, and talked to him about several things. One was fuel. He talked to me about the Texas race that he was in, how he conserved a lot of fuel, and not real sure how much fuel you can conserve here at a road course, but he's probably clutching that thing. And looking back here in the field again, Brandon Jarrell in that Dollar General machine, he's just ahead of McCormick, who we talked about earlier. He is reeling in Liam Lambert in the number 14 position, and Brandon was pretty fast in practice, the open practice that they had. He's probably just got himself into a position where he can't work his way up anymore, and I tell you, Sean, some of these guys already pitted too. You got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, some of these guys have pit, and it's going to be real interesting once we get out there to, to watching exactly what's going to be happening with this strategy unfold in the second half of the race. I don't really know what really to say. I know that it looks like, under this competition caution though, Thompson, if he can make it that far, depending on what his numbers are going to be, it's see these guys go to town and work these fuel strategies, and it will adjust the way that they drive as well through these corners.
Alex Scribner giving Brad Mahar a little tight shove through a corner there, putting Brad Mahar behind him. Joe Slama also making the pass. Brad Mahar all over the back door of the 41 as they rocket down the front stretch here, Sean. 41 machine, the 13 machine inside into turn 1.
Yeah, it looked like the 13 had the better line there, but the 41 just carried it in to keep the position. But on a road course like this, where there's only really one great lane, sometimes you got to do a little short tracking and give a little bit of a nudge or a bump to kind of get that guy in front of you loosened up and out of the way, so you can get that run down the straightaway. But yeah, Mahar up there chasing now the number 41.
Just to give you some kind of idea, Brandon Bowie, who was behind Brad Mahar just a little bit, running 2 minutes 11-second lap time. Scribner, Slama, and Brad Mahar running 2 minute 14. So that just kind of shows you the difference in pitting here and how much faster Brandon Bowie was, trying so hard to get around Brad there.
Yeah, one of the things is when you get off sequence and you make those tires. That's what happens. You don't want to burn them out too quick.
And I tell you, speaking about burning them out too quick, we're going to go to caution and see if we can catch up with Justin to see if he pits. And don't go anywhere. Stick around. ETV Live, Gary Mercer Trucking. And I tell you, we're going to actually stay with it. Justin Thompson being informed. Justin Thompson, Dakota, down pit road.
Yeah, the call right now is fuel only, I believe, as they're going to come down and get their tires under the caution flag, I do believe. But Thompson coming down, he's going to just make sure he stops in this box correctly, and he'll be away.
See, Justin Thompson leading all but every lap, maybe here, lap 15. Justin Thompson all the way down to the very end, right behind the pace car. Good entry. Let's see what he does here, Dakota.
It's actually, they're making the call for tires right now so that he doesn't have to take them under the caution. 2 tires. He's going to take 4 tires and be away, guys. This is Mahar, I'm just being told, wrecked.
Yeah, getting word, Brad Mahar just wrecked. Looks like a solo incident here, guys. 13 machine in the wall.
Yeah, we definitely seen with him earlier with that shove and that move. He really was having a hard time getting a handle on that car, and it looks like it's finally caught up with him there.
See, Justin Thompson, as we mentioned, coming down pit road, and here an Engel, Ryan Engel, who's been running up front off the track in that number 6 car. Looks like he managed to save it there, though. But I tell you, you're not going to miss a thing. We're going to do we're going to go to commercial break here. And not sure if we're going to do the side-by-side or not, but you won't miss a thing. We'll tell you who's in the lead when we get back.
I'll tell you what, Cowboy, you got Justin Thompson holding down the fort up there in the front for quite some time. But I'll tell you what, let me tell you about the ETV Live after show. You don't want to miss this, Cowboy. ETV-eplay.net. Check it out. 24-hour network featuring reruns of ETV Live's top racing events. And don't miss the weekly series, Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, on Monday nights here at ETV Live, 9:30 Eastern. Picking it up next Monday night, Cowboy. You don't want to miss that action, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. ETV-eplay.net is where it's at. The leader in sim broadcasting. Let's take it back to the booth with Michael Conti, Sean Petchin, and Michael Keaton.
Welcome back, guys. Stephen Gilbert giving up the lead to your race leader right now, Sean. Stephen Gilbert down in the pits, Dakota, took 4 tires and a full tank of gas.
Seems to be the call, just avoid having to take tires under the caution, especially some of these guys coming in later, because they know that they're going to spend less time. They'll be able to spend less time in their pit stall just getting gas only, and I think that's going to be the call.
Now, I tell you, Dakota, that's pretty smart crew chiefing right there, my friend. Getting it so close to that competition yellow, where a lot of these guys pitted early, if you remember, some as early as lap 4 or 5. And Sean, you got more?
Oh yeah, it's looking good at the moment for some of these guys. Pushing it up to the very edge and not having to take anything during that competition caution looks like it's going to be the way to go, as you don't want to get marred back in traffic, as we see some of these guys have been running towards the front all night, you know, and getting caught back in traffic, not able to get around.
Speaking of traffic, Auntie, Justin Thompson, who's in front of him? Nonetheless, Lance Williams. Did he get around him, Conti?
Well, he better thank Dave Kamer for that one, because that's all Kamer right there in these tires. The way it works, right? Ooh, someone just went. Oh, okay.
That was Samuel Snee Jr. hard into the tire barrier, right in front of the leaders.
He's going to back it up, Keaton. He's still running, but the only reason Williams got out in front of Thompson was because he pitted a little bit earlier. The colder tires were faster than Thompson's hot, worn tires, and he got just enough lead to get out in front of him. Now, he did have a couple seconds on Thompson, but Thompson with the new tires now is now in hot pursuit, right up on Williams' tailpipe right now. So it's going to be a really good battle. We have 3 to go down to the competition caution. With these two so close together, it's really anyone's race right now to this halfway mark.
And Conti, just ahead of them, the 34 machine, Mark Gomez, your race leader, just in front of these two guys here. Justin Thompson putting a little heat on the number 27 machine, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Thompson obviously has been the car to beat all night. It looks like he's not having too many issues making his way through traffic. One of the things that we're going to be looking at, though, is, you know, what's going to happen during the competition caution if he decides that he's not going to take any tires or anything. You know, it's going to be interesting to see if these are going to survive. Nice little
Yeah, Justin Thompson again all over the back of Lance. Lance all over the back of Gomez. A little bump to the turn. Still 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, this is phenomenal racing between these top 3 guys here, and Thompson doing everything he can to fill Lance Williams' mirrors. It looks like he's going to take a look up the inside here. Oh, and Williams closing the door there. That was cheeky.
Sure was. Thought they were going to go 3 wide in that tricky turn. Gomez giving up the spot to the number 27 machine. Now Justin Thompson looking underneath, looking high. Can't find the way around him.
Yeah, Williams got a great run into the carousel and takes the lead coming off, and Thompson now looking any way he can. He's not going to do anything through the kink, let off a little bit and try to get the run going into the Canada corner.
Thompson taking a little bit of grass and dirt with him, but the 34 machine gonna let him by. You can hear the motor let off just a little bit. Thompson to second place, trying to run down Lance Williams.
Yeah, he pulls right up the back bumper of that 27 car there. Smart move for the 34. You don't want to go too hot into that Canada corner. It's a tricky one. As Thompson still giving chase here, getting all kinds of squirrely.
I tell you, Mark Gomez trying to reel Thompson back in, but I tell you, he's thinking otherwise. Lance Williams gonna lead this lap, this time by 19. Next time will be the competition yellow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Thompson tries to jump ahead here of Lance Williams before the competition yellow. He's going to come right up on him. I mean, you can see just how that car closes so quickly on Lance Williams. It just really is a great way to indicate the braking point difference as he's looking up the inside here.
There he goes, Conti.
Yeah, he got the... Oh, okay. He got the good run coming out of 1. Was able to outbrake Williams going to 2. I thought Williams was going to be able to get the drive off and cross him over. He was almost going to get that. Got a little bit of wheel spin off the curb, and that was it. So it looks like Thompson, with his pace right now, should probably start driving away from the 27. The 27 was definitely holding up the 98, but at that point, you know, it's really just... It's fair game. You want to get to that competition yellow first, so you can get to your pit stall first and better your efforts to get out first and get in front of Thompson. So Lance and Thompson really going at it right now. But besides these two guys, it's a long, long way back to Bowie and England, Coleman. So I'm sure those guys are going to be very happy to see this yellow flag wave in a lapse time.
Yeah, they sure will, Conti. In fact, when this caution does wave, it's going to group everybody back up. Something Justin Thompson and, as you mentioned, Lance Williams really don't want to see. Mark Gomez just almost a second behind, but yeah, this caution's really going to make things get scattered back up here. So it should be fun to watch them go back green.
Yeah, and with some of these different things, depending on what they do with the tires or whatnot, I mean, it's gonna be really entertaining to see. Thompson did a good thing there by taking those tires back on his pit stop a few laps ago, getting those fresh tires on there and trying to minimize the ability of Lance Williams to pull away. And now we see that it's resulted in him actually taking the lead back as they now come down the front straightaway for the yellow.
Yep, just in front, Chris E. Pence trying to cross his fingers to stay on the lead lap. He does. Chris E. Pence is on the lead lap. Justin Thompson taking the competition yellow here, guys. You can hear that engine shut off, guys. That 98 machine's got that engine cut off.
Yeah, gonna try it again. You know, you want your maximum ability to save that fuel, and as we've seen with some of these stock cars on the road courses before, it's not unusual to see them flipping that switch on and off to make those fuel numbers that they need.
And two, if Thompson's thinking no tires, the less amount of fuel he's got to put in it to fill it up, the faster that pit stop will be. And two, Lance now work something together with his crew chief, Dakota. Have you gotten any word on what these guys doing here under this competition yellow as we sit here and anxiously wait?
No, actually, these chiefs being very secretive to not pass along any information as they want to outsmart all the competition out here, Michael.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Dakota, Justin Thompson leading the race right now, being shown second, Lance Williams, Mark Gomez, Brandon Bowie, Ryan Engel, your top 5.
All right, 6th place we have Chad Coleman. 7th is the number 51. Excuse me, Alex Scribner. 8th, Joe Slema. 9th, Jeffrey Parker, and 10th, Brandon Jarrell.
And then 11th right now, Brandon Smith, Stephen Gilbert, who led a couple of laps, taking the laps away from Justin Thompson. Byron Daly putting on that show with Gilbert, and McCormick sitting 13th. McCormick that I just mentioned 14th, and Zach Hudson 15th right now.
16th place, we got Patrick Davis Jr. in the number 22 with proud mother looking on in our chat room. 17th place is number 8 Tyler Hill. 18th, number 56 John Bunton, and then the 88 is in 19th place of Liam Lambert, and Brandon J. King in 20th.
And sitting 21st, Michael Kearns. Chris Pence just staying on the lead lap there as the competition yellow came out. He's sitting 22nd. Samuel Sneed, who took a huge lick into the wall, sitting in 23rd, 1 lap down. Brad Mahar struggling tonight, 5 laps down. And Ian Hand, who we mentioned, has pulled it up on the hauler, going to use that backup car for the 3rd race. The showdown 20-lapper sits in 25th. Conti? I tell you, Sean, these guys. This is a long caution here, and we're going to throw it on down to Mike Conti, who's got a little bit of information for us.
Well, I mean, the admin of this race, Mr. Mercer, just came along and said that you don't have to pit. And considering the fuel window here, guys, it's only about 18 to 19 laps. We do have 20 to go at the line. They can't really make it if they pit here, but as long as this track is, they might try to save fuel. Ooh, it looks like Lance Williams is going to be the Lone Ranger out there. A lot of people coming in. Coleman's going to stay out as well. It looks like the majority of the racers out here tonight think that they can save enough fuel and get to the end without pitting again. So it's really going to be a fuel mileage game now, because we're not going to see another yellow after this. It's all going to be about those guys, that right foot in the gas pedal and possibly the clutch pedal as well. They might use that to save the fuel. So it's really going to be interesting to see who can make it, who can't. Maybe some of the faster paced guys such as Thompson and Bowie, their pace might not allow them to make it, but maybe guys that were just a little bit off before might be equalized now enough to where they can make it. So it's going to be a very interesting last half of this race, and I have a feeling that we might see an unexpected winner of this 40-lap segment right here with this fuel mileage game going on.
Yeah, Conti, I'm looking. Stephen Gilbert stayed out, and you mentioned Coleman and Williams. They're staying out now. Justin Thompson was leading the race, so he will come out in fourth, I believe, just behind Stephen Gilbert. But I tell you, these three guys here up front taking the decision not to pit here. I don't know. I think it's just a time to see.
Yeah, I found it a little interesting that Lance Williams stayed out. Probably a decent move from Justin Thompson if he thinks he can make it, save that fuel, and really use the driver controls that he has at his disposal to make it on fuel mileage. But yeah, I'm a little bit puzzled with some of these others.
Tell you what, we're going to step aside here, throw it down to Race Command, JD, who's standing by with some information.
I'll tell you what, Cowboy, etv-eplay.net. You want to check it out over there. Kind of built a new front end on the website over there, dressing it up just a little bit. And I'll tell you, you want to enjoy the after show out there, 24-hour network featuring reruns of ETV Live's top racing events. And, of course, on Monday nights, don't miss the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series back in the saddle again next Monday night, 9:30 Eastern, live on ETV Live. And then on Tuesday night, join Sean Peachin and company with the Open Paddock live every Tuesday night, live on ETV Live, 9 o'clock p.m. We had our premiere here just this last Tuesday, and what a good time we had. Join Sean and the boys for Motorsports in Brief. Catch the updates from the IndyCar results, weekly IndyCar results, and, of course, the Mazda Road to Indy updates. All live on ETV Live, etv-eplay.net. Let's take it back up to the booth to Michael Keaton, Sean Peachin, and Michael Conti.
I tell you, we're going to see if we can't get a couple of guys in here while we're under caution. I think they've just thrown a caution, so we should have a little bit of time. The light's still blinking on the pace car. That means they'll take them around one more time before we go back green. So we're going to try to get a couple of guys and drivers up here in the booth with us. And I tell you, Sean, going to be fun to watch this second half of the race unfold with a little bit of pitch strategy. Top three, Stephen Gilbert in third, Chad Coleman second, and Lance Williams choosing to stay out. And I tell you, I think we got somebody up in the booth with us, Dakota.
Yes, sir. We've gotten Justin Thompson on a radio here. I believe, Justin, you got a copy, bud?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
He's putting a whooping on them there. That caution coming out, the mandatory caution. You came in, you took 4 tires, even though you just came down pit road and got your tires. Was that a good call?
I think it's a good call. Lance was already falling off to the, I don't know, probably about 2 seconds slower. And after I got back out in front of him, I picked up 2 seconds, so it might be a good call. I don't know if it is or not. It's gamble.
Him staying out, do you think there's a chance he can make it, or?
He's got to be dead on the gear to be able to make it from here. I was pushing it that first run. That's why I went ahead and pit early and short pit it, because I was 3 laps short. Thanks, crew chief.
Justin Thompson, yeah, I got one question for you. Lance Williams been mistake-free. You've made one mistake. What's the biggest problem, or the hardest part about trying to go mistake-free here?
Oh, you just try to go as fast as you can, and you know, you keep pushing the limit and keep pushing the limit and keep pushing the limit, but you know, sometimes you just overdo it, trying to find a little more.
Alright, well, if the lights are off on the pace car, we're going to let you get back to races. I believe I hear the engine off on the camera, so you might be saving a little bit of fuel there, so possibly a little bit of a fuel game going on, guys, here.
I tell you, these guys really stretch it thin. Justin Thompson gonna start beside that number 27 machine, as I believe Stephen Gilbert did come down pit road. Lance Williams, though, still electing to stay out here, guys.
Yeah, Lance Williams is pretty much resigned to his fate at the moment, realizing that he's probably not gonna make it, and that it might be a lost cause, but you never know.
Getting word that the speeding penalty, Jeffrey Parker. Speeding on pit road. Not sure where that's going to put Jeffrey Parker at. He is out the pits, showing in 12th. But speeding penalty for Jeffrey Parker. I tell you, Lance Williams in that 27 machine right behind the pace car. You can tell he's got that engine shut off. You better believe the AC's off, the radio's off, the automatic water bottle's off, saving every bit of power he can in that car. Gonna try to get 20 laps out of it, and I'm not so sure he can do it, guys, but I tell you, if anybody can, Lance Williams can. He's pretty fast, but Justin Thompson is going to look to try to get around him here as we go green.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens with it. We know that Thompson's obviously super fast, and I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the jump going into turn 1 and tries to take the lead right out of the gate and set that pace again.
Tell you too, in that Cooper standard Chevrolet Impala, draw tight on the back of the machine. Byron Daly sitting fourth. That guy's real exciting to watch. Watched him a couple of days ago, or weeks ago, at Talladega when he took the field 3 wide. That was at the Prater Willie Syndrome event. I tell you, Byron Daly can put on a show, and he's sitting fourth right now. If he can somehow manage to get up there in front, he can mix up with the best of them.
Yeah, it looks like we said before, there's plenty of great talent out here on the racetrack. So any one of these guys, if the pit strategy plays in their favor, they're going to absolutely be pushing, and it's going to be a great show. I can't wait.
And I believe Mike Conti, this is going to be a single file restart here. 27 leading them down, Conti.
Single file restart, so it's going to give Thompson a good run at Lance if he does get a good enough jump on him. I'm not sure if you can pass before the start finish. It might result in a black flag because of where you'd have to pass the leader. But here they go. Looks like he's going to hold real tight in the back bumper of Williams. It's a good run on him right here. Thompson's going to try the left. Now, this is going to put Thompson at a bad entry to turn 1 right here. He's going to try to outbrake him. Not going to work. He's going to slide in behind him right there, Mike.
Conti, it almost looked, Wilson got a little loose, but handles the car fine. And the 2 here, all over the back door of Williams. But I was going to say that it looked like Justin was trying to set up possibly for a crossover.
Yeah, it really looked like a crossover there going into turn 1. Unfortunately, the pace of Williams is just a little bit slower than what Thompson anticipated, and he had to push the front end a little bit, killing that move.
And I tell you, the 14 machine and Gilbert, who pitted just before we went green, the 14 guys, hard contact. As we are still green, Thompson trying to reel in Lance Williams, who's in the number 1 position.
Yeah, looks like Thompson's working really hard on trying to brake maneuver. It's not quite as tight as it was after turn 1, of course, but it looks like Thompson's got a great run heading through the carousel. Looks like he's going to set him up for Canada corner.
Eyes glued to the number 1 position, the number 2, and possibly the number 3 of Mark Gomez, trying to reel him in. Byron Daly behind Gomez, but out front, Lance Williams and Justin Thompson as Lance pulls away a little bit through the chicane here.
Yeah, real interesting there. Real interesting there for Thompson. Looks like he got a little bit out of shape there as they head into Canada corner. Thompson running a little bit wide. Looks like Lance is hanging on there pretty nicely as they look to complete this first lap. So interesting stuff so far.
Tell you, Lance pulling away from Justin Thompson here as they come into the final turn here to go up the roller coaster Port Terminal runway. Looks like the 30 machine putting the inside move on the number 98 as they come down into turn 1 here, guys. Mark Gomez trying to take over Thompson's number 2 position, 98 on the bottom.
Yeah, the preferred track line there for Thompson as he holds on to that second position, taking away that inside line advantage from Gomez. And Thompson's able to hold on all the while. Lance Williams is going to be loving this. It's just like we've seen in the first race with Thompson. Williams is going to be looking to kind of pull away a little bit here as these two do battle for second position.
Conte, I tell you, Mark Gomez trying to run down Thompson, but behind Mark is Byron Daly. The guy's reeling Gomez big time in here in this turn here, Conte.
It looks like Gomez gets sidetracked with Thompson a little bit, eased it in there, and Byron was all over him going in there to that tight left-hand corner. You're really got to be careful right there, Mike, because if you downshift too quickly, you're on a downhill spiral right there, because this track is just one big roller coaster. So that's your downhill part. If you downshift too quickly, you'll wheel hop real bad, and you'll be off. You'll be going sand duning, buggying, whatever you want to call it, down in the sand trap. So Byron looks like he's able to really drive it in there, not getting any of that wheel hop, while Gomez is really trying to just be careful and not do anything that would throw his race away, because right now this top 4 is starting to separate themselves a little bit. But now we have Bowie, who's finally made up his track position that he lost from his off way earlier in the race. So Bowie's starting to come to the picture as well. So we got a 5, almost 6-car battle now for this lead.
Now let's talk a little bit of setup talk here, Conte. Byron Daly, you got to imagine that the guy's probably got a little bit of head start, if you will, on Gomez, possibly with some brake bias here. That brake bias is pretty key factor at these tracks, don't you think?
Oh, definitely, definitely. You definitely want to have a good mix of forward and brake and back brake bias, because if you have too much of one or the other, you're not going to be able to get into the corners as well as you need to. For everyone out there that really doesn't know how brake bias works, it's how much brake you dial into the front and rear of the car. The more front brake you put into it, the more prone you are to lock up the front tires. The more you dial out of the front and put to the rear, the more you're prone to spin the car out. So you want to get a good balance of that so you can really charge into these corners and not lock them up or spin yourself out. So they will be messing around with those in-car adjustments a little bit, because unlike the HPD and the F1 car and all those really high-tech road cars that we see on the Iracing service, the Cup car only has one in-cockpit adjustment that the drivers can make while they're on the run here, and that is brake bias. That's the only thing that they can adjust while they're going here. So that's a really key factor in trying to run someone down like Thompson is on the 27 right now. So you can definitely be assured that Thompson, he might be playing with that brake bias right now, trying to get it to where he can charge into the corner right up to the 27's rear bumper, try to scare him a little bit and get the 27 to make a mistake.
Yeah, Conte, and what's real cool, you pointed out, messing with the brake bias, these guys are able, iRacing allows them to adjust brake bias at any given point in the race. So you got to imagine if these guys are adjusting that as they go along. But I tell you, keep the eye out on the front there. But I tell you, we're going to use this new innovative ETV technology to dual screen it. And we're going to take you back here to position number 13 with the number 72 machine of Kyle McCormick and Jeffrey Parker running him down. I've been looking at Jeffrey Parker running a little bit faster lap times as he's trying to run that machine down here, Sean.
Yeah, it looks like whatever it is he's whether it be a just is working really well and as he gets around him.
Battle lead here. We're hearing Justin Thompson taking over the lead here, Conti.
Yeah, he made a good braking maneuver like we've seen before from Thompson. Drove it in really hard to that Canada corner, as they call it, and was able to get around Lance, and will start to pull away once again, just like we saw that last run. Now, it looks like Gomez has fallen back from these top two, Mike and Sean, and he is starting to come under the pressure. Byron Daly, who's slowly closing in on him ever so slightly every lap.
Yeah, one of the things that can really happen when you're pushing your car and you get a sniff of that lead, or you want to, push to try and take a position, you start to kind of slide back a little bit into the clutches of the car behind you, and you really got to be careful, because then you're driving just as much out of your back mirror as you are the front mirror, looking for that guy to set up a pass and maybe come up the inside in the heavy braking area.
Keep in mind, folks, this is just race number 2. The 40-lap feature up next, the 20-lap showdown, and that's for the big one. Gary Mercer Trucking putting up $120 total race prize winnings here tonight. And I tell you, Justin Thompson's hungry, and but so is everyone else. All will be eligible to run the next race here, Sean.
Yeah, and just to say that we actually had a pass there. Byron Daly gets around the 34 of Gomez and is able to complete the pass. So.
And I tell you, you won't miss a thing. We're going to go to commercial break. Justin Thompson leading Road America B-Car All-Star Race Showdown. Gary Mercer Trucking will be just back in a jiffy.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. All right, and we are back live at Road America. This is the Friday Night Showdown group. I tell you what an all-star race it is tonight. Justin Thompson holding down the fort up in front. But I want to tell you about VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Seat Simulation Racing Cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl, who understands what it means to have a comfortable racing seat. Imagine what these guys are going through here tonight. Don't you wish you had one, cowboy? The design features a fully adjustable racing seat and frame, additional monitor stand, and shifter mount sold separately. High quality and affordable alternative to a lot of those others that cost, well, thousands of dollars. $349, cowboy, plus shipping. BobEarlRacing.com. Order one tonight. BobEarlRacing.com. Let's go back to the booth. Michael Keaton, Michael Conti, and Sean Peachin.
Justin Thompson looking for the win here, guys. This is it. There is no showdown. This is your showdown. 13 laps to go. Justin Thompson out front. The money is, he's smelling it or what, guys? Byron Daly moving into second, just over Mark Gomez in third, and Brandon Bowie's in fourth. All over the back door behind him, Alex Script.
All right, looks like P6 Ryan Ingalls, 7th Chad Coleman, 8th Brennan Schmidt, 9th Joe Schlama, and 10th Lance Williams, who was just running P2 but finally had to stop for that fuel.
He certainly did. I'm guessing that he, looking at his fuel box, it must have just been too far into the red to where he couldn't save enough around this big track we have here. So he came on in, and that's really going to kill his chances tonight. That's put him back to 10th place, 12.3 seconds behind Thompson. So he's not going to get there. That's going to relegate him way back in the field, and it's really not indicative of where he's run tonight. He's been really Thompson's only competition up to this point. Someone that's actually been able to stay with him, hold him off, and put up a good race for him. So put up a valiant effort, but it's just not going to be enough tonight.
Yeah, it looks like at the moment here we've got the number 9 car. It looks as though he's not completely done with this, and looks like he wants to challenge Justin Thompson for that lead position. So I don't think we're quite out of the woods, and Mr. Thompson, it would behoove him to keep tabs on his rearview mirror as Byron Daly looks to make this a race.
Brandon Smith, guys, in 8th position. The number 19 spins out in front of the field here, coming off into the grass. Cars able to pass by, but I tell you, Brandon Gerald running in, let's see, look at the number 9 position here, passing Brandon Smith. But that Brandon Gerald guy in the number 20 Dollar General Machine trying to run down Jeffrey Parker, who I mentioned had to have serve an EOL at the last restart, starting in the very back, and has worked himself up into the top 10 here, guys. And looking back behind them, Zach Hudson trying to close in the door on that number 20 machine.
Yeah, well then we have our race 1 favorite Kyle McCormick in 13th, 14th Liam Lambert, 15th Brandon King, and 16 is John Bunton. With 17th, Lance Williams again as he continues to fall.
Thompson just got real squirrely coming onto the kink right there, guys. He caught a little bit of that small piece of curbing they had, then got his left rear in the grass right there. Almost bit off a little bit too much than he could chew right there, but he kept it together, and he still got a lead. But as you said, the lap prior, Sean, Byron did knock off a 10th off the lead of Justin Thompson, so now it's down to 1.93 seconds, and we're going to have 11 to go at the line. He does have enough time to make it up, but he's got to gain a little bit more than a 10th of a second a lap. He's really got to pick it up just a bit if he wants to get there.
Well, for sure, and I'm sure that as Thompson sees that time start to kind of slip a little bit, he's going to be maybe worried a little bit, kind of doing some math in his head. He's not going to want to put a wheel wrong here like he almost did as he went off on the kink there, getting the rear end out there, because as you know, once you get that rear end out on that grass, I mean, it is ice out there, and it's going to be almost impossible to recover. And I mean, that would just be gut-wrenching for Thompson to have an issue like that so close to the finish after the kind of performance he's had all day.
Tell you what, $50 on the line for this one, guys. Justin Thompson's already won some money. in that first race. He won the first split, but nonetheless, Byron Daly looking for his payday in second position. For the past 3 laps, guys, he's run consistently faster lap times than Thompson as they come through one of the turns here.
He's coming for sure, Mike. He knocked off another 7/100ths that last time by, so a little bit less than a tenth, but it really looks like he's eating into it now as Thompson goes under the Speedville banner right there. Byron is really close in pursuit. Gomez is holding on quite nicely back in third, as now he's getting passed by Scribner, so Scribner from the back to the front. Good run by that 51 car to get all the way back up here. Ryan Engel back there. I'm looking for Bowie. He's back there in fourth. Looks like he might have... Did Bowie have a problem, guys? I'm not seeing him on the charts. Oh, there he is. He must have popped in and out. Okay, Bowie's still doing good. He's still in third, so Bowie's still there as well. So you have 3 or 4 cars. Oh, Thompson, hang on to it. So 3 or 4 cars that can get to the front here, but if Thompson keeps doing that, he's going to be in trouble real quickly.
Conti, I tell you what, if I'm the crew chief of Thompson, or the spotter, I'm saying Thompson, don't look in your back rear view mirror, because Byron Daly's coming, and the spotter for Daly, I'm sure, is telling him, you're reeling him in.
Yeah, this
Byron's coming.
Yeah, this is great for the 91 at the moment, because he is closing down that gap and he has got the red mist. He's going to be pushing like hell to catch up to Thompson, and Thompson is going to be doing everything as he's feeling that pressure. He's going to be trying to keep that car, and that's the best thing to do, boys, as you know. I mean, once you see a car coming like that, it's time to put the head down and just focus on banging out some laps and reestablishing yourself, because it could all go very wrong for Mr. Thompson if he's not very careful in these closing laps.
Dakota?
Yeah, guys, I just want to throw a shout out here. Look who is sitting in 8th after getting an EOL on that last restart. It would be Mr. Jeffrey Parker in number 26, guys.
Tell you what, Byron Daly all in the chat room. Oh, he gets a little bit off the curb there, off the rumble strip. Might have lose a little bit of momentum, not sure, but I tell you what, last time by for the 4th consecutive lap, Byron Daly, faster lap time than Thompson, reeling him in.
Yeah, this is absolutely great stuff here. As Byron Daly is absolutely throwing everything he's got into trying to win this race. It looks like it's going to be one of those checkers or wreckers like finishes for Byron as he charges for that lead position.
Conti, I tell you what, you know all of this type of driving. What is Justin Thompson going through? The black striper in second spot. The black striper, Byron Daly, trying to put the heat, as he may have lost a little bit of momentum here, guys, but I'm sure he's going to recuperate some of that time.
Hey, you can see Byron starting to heat his brakes up, heat his front tires up. He missed a couple of corners this lap. Really killed this lap. It looks like he might have given up the time that he's gained that last 4 laps. We're going to have to come around, see what the live timing and scoring says when we get to the line here, see what it updates as. But it looks like he has lost a little bit of time, and right now, with 9 to go at the line, Thompson getting really loose again. So with 9 to go at the line, Byron's just got to keep eating away at this. He cannot afford to start losing time.
Tell you what, the brake rotors lighting up that Indiglo, bright red on the Byron Daly 91 machine, draw-type Chevrolet. Lost a lot of time there, though, guys. Justin Thompson pulling away with 9 to go.
Well, this is certainly one of the issues that you probably got Byron Daly with that brake bias dialed up the front, just like we talked about earlier, being the one tool there. And as Byron gets a little squirrely into turn 3 there, he's pushing, but you cannot put a wheel wrong. I mean, putting yourself another second ahead of Byron, just relaxes Thompson and helps him focus.
Zach Hudson taking an early vacation, running top 10 so well in that 42 machine. Went to the beach, through the sand, getting it back on the track, guys. Zach Hudson, tough break for him. But I tell you, Byron Daly, again, Justin Thompson, Byron Daly moving him down.
Oh, he's coming now. He is coming now, Mike, down to Dakota for more.
Justin Thompson, the crew, saying they are good on gas, guys. And by the way, Keaton, I was just informed to alert you something. Put that seatbelt on before you jump out of that chair.
I tell you what, me strapped the seatbelt in. I bet Byron Daly's strapping his tighter and tighter with every lap that clinches. $50 on the line. 98 machine out front.
Well, it looks like that 91 machine gets a great run as they go down through that downhill section into that tight left-hander. He really makes up time in there. And then once we get to the carousel and the kink, it looks like Thompson is opening up that gap a little bit more. Maybe that car working just a little bit better and keeping that momentum.
Momentum's definitely key here, Conti. Justin Thompson out front. Again, we can't stress it enough what tight of a race this is. Oval fans, if you're watching this race, this is like Daytona 4 wide action right here. Byron Daly all over really the back door of Thompson here to a degree in some sort of fashion. But as they come down here, it'll be 7 to go here, guys.
Yeah, Byron, I think Byron gained a little bit of time that last lap. Justin can see that he's trying to break the draft. Here we come. It's going to update 2.4 seconds to 1.4. A full second for Byron that lap, guys. If he keeps doing that, he's going to be there in plenty of time for the finish, and then he'll have time to set up the move and see what he can do at Thompson for the win.
Well, what I'm getting out of this, guys, is I'm watching the trail cam here on Byron Daly. Byron is keeping it real tidy and keeping it between the lines. One of the things that Thompson's doing is he's getting those tires off track and into the dust and dirt and grass. And it certainly looks like, anyways, that it's costing Thompson, as Daly has by far a more tidy run through these corners.
And from what I'm gathering with some information being given to me, Justin Thompson a little faster through the first couple of the turns, but Byron Daly really reels him in right here. As you see, Byron Daly closing the door, the rear view mirror full of that blue and black Chevrolet. Alex Scribner, guys, trying to close the door. Brandon Bowie, another battle with Alex Scribner in the Dark House Racing Chevrolet, looking now all over the back of that Great Clips Chevrolet through the Speedfield tunnel, guys.
Yeah, Scribner's all over the Bowie machine right now, as Bowie has a little bit of connection issue through the carousel right there. He is back, though. Hang on to it, Scribner. A little bit of wheel spin right there. These tires are getting old and greasy. But he's still hunting him down. Scribner's really hungry for that third place spot. As Bowie goes through the kink, gets a little bit more wheel spin off of the kink right there. They're going to head down to the Canada corner over 160 miles per hour down to here. Here comes Scribner on the brakes hard. Going to use a little bit of that curbing right there to get him to turn. He's gaining ground as Bowie pops out again. There he is. Still going.
Yeah, Scribner looked really good as he's chasing down that 38 machine, so he got a good run through the kink as they headed into Canada corner, especially after that massive sideways moment he had coming out. So, I mean, this is great stuff. We got a hell of a battle for the lead, and this final podium position is up for grabs as well.
Looks like I'm looking up front again, Mike. I don't know if you're looking at the same thing, but Byron lost about 7/10 of a second that lap. He's back to over 2 seconds behind Thompson. Thompson's 2:11.3, the Byron's 2:12.0. Actually, Alex Scribner is a little bit quicker than Byron that time and quicker than Bowie, so Scribner is actually closer to Ace the leader. He just doesn't have any track position right now.
Yeah, Scribner really closing the gap on Bowie there for the third position battle. Back up front, though, Byron Daly and Justin Thompson. Byron, now he's getting through the corners where he's a little better. Right here especially, Byron Daly gets in that turn really well, a little bit better than Thompson as they go through the Corvette tri-oval.
Yeah, this is good stuff. It certainly does look like Scribner is closer to pace than Thompson. Byron, I don't know if it's just that that last push we seen was his last hurrah, but he's kind of sliding back a little bit. But he is in the middle section of the course where he's just a little bit better. But this is where Thompson seems to pull out any kind of advantage that he has, as he's real good through the carousel and really good through the kink as well.
Guys, we're getting word. We're going to throw it down to Dakota, who's got some information on that Scribner racing team. Dakota?
Yeah, Alex Scribner, part of Dark Horse Racing. Remember, his teammate Jeffrey Parker's restarted in the back. He charged to the front. He's up to 8. Alex Scribner's good on fuel, or Jeffrey Parker's good on fuel, but Alex Scribner is an 1/8 of a lap short. I mean, that's not a lot. I mean, they're working on saving the fuel, but that's why he's backing off the bumper of Brandon Bowie right now, guys.
Gonna put it back on the number 72, Kyle McCormick, in 10th position here, guys, with Brandon Jarrell as we give the leaders a little break here. Brandon Jarrell trying to run down the number 72 machine as they go through one of the right-handers here. 20 trying to reel him down, guys.
Oh, breaking news right here. I'm reading what's being sent up to me. Thompson apparently is 1 lap short on fuel right now. He was good to go before, but I guess that pace that he's got going right now, it's just a little bit more than he must have had that first run because he's actually got to push it now. So Thompson, if Thompson doesn't watch out, he's going to run out of fuel. So now he's got to try to save. He pulled a second on Byron that lap, so obviously he didn't save that time, or maybe Byron's saving as well. We are in a big fuel conservation race right now, Mike and Sean. This is going to come down to who can save the most fuel and who can get around this long track without running out of fuel, because you know what? If you run out of fuel here, you're done, because you are not coasting back to pit road. You're going to run out and your race is going to be over. You're going to have to call that tow truck.
And I tell you, I wonder if someone's gotten that news to Daly, because Daly's actually looking like he's really losing a lot of momentum here, and he may just be trying to be real conservative here and just stay on the track, as he knows that Thompson is fighting a huge battle with fuel.
Yeah, Byron, you bring up Mike, you bring up a great point about Byron, rather. That pace that he had put on Justin Thompson may have forced Thompson, obviously, to run real low, as Thompson got way off the track in the gravel there. Daly may just be dialing it back and waiting to see if Thompson lets off enough or runs out of gas. So it looks now as though Daly's in the catbird seat of this race and looking like he's just waiting for Thompson to fall off, and then he'll pick up the win on fuel mileage.
Money and respect on the line here at the B-Car All-Star Race Gary Mercer Trucking event. This is all for fun, but it's all for money as well. These guys taking a break off season here, and I tell you, Byron Daly, Justin Thompson never taking a break, as these two trying to battle each other for the number 1 position.
I tell you who's coming right now. Brandon Bowie's closed up to the back of Daly. He gained over a second that time, a 2:11.5 for Bowie to a 2:12.7 for Byron. But like I said, I believe Byron's just trying to back it down and save enough fuel, so if Thompson runs out, he won't run out. We're going to have 5 to go at the line right here. Like I said, Bowie closing up to the back of Daly. Alex Scribner's trying to conserve fuel, like Dakota mentioned earlier, is an 1/8 of a lap short. Here comes Chad Coleman on the pit road from the 5th position, so that'll take him out of a top 5 spot. So obviously he doesn't think that he's got enough fuel, and you have to remember that's the teammate of Byron Daly, so most likely they're running a similar setup with a similar gear. So if the 7 can't make it, who is running a slightly slower pace than the 91, I don't see how the 91 can make it at this point.
No official word yet, though, Sean, here on the Byron Daly camp. No official word coming from his camp just quite yet on if the guy's got enough to make it. But we know Justin Thompson's condition, Sean.
Yeah, Daly certainly holding the cards close to the chest, but he's got problems as, yeah, the 38 is coming up on the inside. He's smelling blood in the water, too. The door's closed.
Here we go, boys. Brandon Bowie under the Corvette symbol on Byron Daly for 2nd position.
As Byron gets a little bit loose right there, downshifting the first, possibly broke those rear tires loose. Here comes Bowie. Bowie's going to apply the pressure now. Doesn't look like Bowie's saving fuel, so obviously he must have saved earlier in that run. We saw Scribner make the run up to the back of him. He was smart, saved early. It's going to go late as these two are closing in on Thompson in a hurry right now. So it looks like Bowie might be okay on fuel, but these top 2 look like they're a little bit worried right now.
And you said it earlier, Tony, actually, when you were talking about having that surprise winner. It looks like that 38 is right on the money with that fuel, and he is chasing down that 91 car. And if he can get around him, he might force him into a short situation as the 91's feeling the pressuring at the pace. So if all things continue to go the way they're going, we could be talking about the 38 really pulling off a huge coup and taking the win here at Road America in this All-Star event.
Getting word that Thompson's fuel is not getting any better. He's trying to save. He was down into the 2:13s that lap with Daly, so they're both saving. Bowie isn't, though. A 2:11.9 that last lap for Bowie. Here comes Bowie. He's going to look to the right of Daly. Not going to happen. Daly, Daly's going to get loose. He saved it. That's not how you want to get through there right now. That's going to waste gas like that, but he had to do that, or else he was going to take an e-ticket right into that sand gravel trap on the left side of the track right there.
Look for Bowie to get this toe down the main straightaway. He might try to make a move going into turn 1.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough. He had to check up for Daly just to give him a little bit of room, because if he didn't, he was going to be all over Daly. Here he comes. Looks like Daly's rear tires are gone. Those things are heated up. Those things are hot. Bowie's still got some rear tires left. As he blinks once again, that's okay though. Here he comes. Oh, he's going to get real close to the 91's bumper right there. Had to check up a little bit, went a little bit wide. That's going to give Daly the run down the straightaway. Bowie's going to lose all types of time coming down the straightaway right now. So that's not going to help at all for him, because if you don't get a good run off of turn 2, you lose all that momentum down the straightaway, and that really kills your lap.
Look at the 38 here. He's going to try to make up a little bit of time there. Oh, and he's twitching under the throttle there. You got to be careful getting on that throttle. You can tell that he's really pushing, trying to catch that second place car. And I mean, he's got the first and second place cars firmly in his view at the moment. He just needs to put together a few good laps here and try to get around that 91, because the 98 is still looking like he's going to be short.
Hey, I tell you what, the crew chief of Justin Thompson just announced to his driver there that Byron Daly has closed the gap, guys. Once again, last time by, Justin Thompson 213, 394, Byron Daly 213, 132.
Hearing now that Scribner is good on fuel, so your 4th position car is good on fuel. That's the only guy that we know of that is perfectly fine on fuel. The top 3 we don't know yet. I have a gut feeling that Bowie might be okay, or at least in better shape than the top 2 right now. And then we know that Jeffrey Parker in the 6th position, 24 seconds back, is also good. Not sure about Mark Gomez. So it looks like 4th and 6th place right now are good on fuel. The other 3 or 4 cars up there, we don't know. So it's going to be real interesting. We might see Scribner win. We could see Bowie win. We could see Thompson win. We just don't know right now.
Yeah, this is absolutely mega with all of this fuel strategy, these different strategies playing out. One of the great aspects of road racing is you just don't know, and with the short shifting and everything else that can be done, there are some things that the driver can try to do to make those numbers.
Guys, again, Justin Thompson's crew telling him Byron Daly's reeling him in. 212.776 for Justin Thompson and a 212.499 for Byron Daly. He's reeling him in, guys.
Yeah,
but we got a good run off of turn 2 right there, Sean. Sorry to interrupt, but he got a really good run. He's going to get the toe all the way down the straightaway. Possibly look for him to make a move going into turn 3 right there.
Exactly what I was going to say there. He got a great run, and it looks like he's going to dive to the inside.
I don't know if that's going to work or not. He's there now. Here he comes. He's going to shut out. Oh, he gets loose. Oh, they save it, though. He had to kick it down a gear right there. Daly's going to keep going. I don't think Daly lost too much time right there. Recovered pretty well. Thompson's still in sight right now.
That was almost a cataclysmic disaster for the 38 and the 91, to be honest with you, but it looks like they've got away with minimal. It looks like they just lost some time there. That was unbelievable and a ballsy move from the 38 to try and put that move down.
Tell you what, though, I bet Byron Daly's thankful it got Brandon Bowie off his back bumper. Now Daly can concentrate on the #1 position. The $50 at stake here. Gary Mercer Truck and AllStar race in the B car. Thompson in the lead. 3 to go.
And there's just still, with 3 laps, there's just so much racing. And for the fuel, 3 laps, I think 3 laps to go, we're almost done with this. No. We're not even close. This track is massive, and with 3 laps, a lot can still happen.
Well, we're just going to have to see here when guys run out of fuel, because the crew chief of Justin Thompson, Mr. Atkinson, up on the crew chief stand right there, he is saying that Thompson is still a half a lap short in fuel, and it's not getting any better. And, you know, if he's a half a lap short, he is not going to make it around like we mentioned earlier. That's going to be the end of him. It's going to be whether Byron Daly can make it just that little bit further to where he can get in front of Thompson, possibly coast to the finish. But then if they don't be careful, you're going to have Scribner, who's 10.3 seconds back. Scribner might be able to catch them if they run out at the wrong time.
Guys, burning the rotors into turn 1. Justin Thompson, again, a little slow pace, 213.574. And in the Byron Daly camp, 212.689.
Yeah, it looks like Daly's really closing the door. We just got, I don't know if it's official, but we just got something in the chat room that says that the 38 is in fact good on gas. Yep.
Dakota.
Guys, and I caught up with Austin Atkinson on spotters, working spotting for Justin Thompson. Austin, how is your driver looking on fuel?
Going back and forth with my driver, he is concerned about Byron Daly behind him. No longer has that competition from Bowie, so Bowie really not there to slow up Byron any. That is a concern for Justin at this time. He has been asking for frequent updates on Byron's location and Byron's lap times. Thompson informing me he is still about half a lap short. He's been dump shifting into the corners and also doing whatever he can to ease his way back into the throttle to try to save as much as he can. It's going to be a close one, boys.
There we have it from Austin Atkinson, but I'm going to throw it back up to Keaton because I hear he's losing it over something.
I'll tell you, 98 just in the talk there with Austin. 98 almost losing it, allowing Byron Daly to get a little bit more momentum here, guys.
Yeah, Daly's in a fantastic position right now. Not only is Thompson super concerned about his gas and dump shifting, as the crew chief said, but Daly is pushing like hell trying to catch up to him. And I mean, this is just great stuff. I mean, he is getting ever so close with 2 to go, I think, as we come to the line.
We're going to have 1 to go when we get to the line right there. It's going by actually faster than you would think for a track that you get around in over 2 minutes. They're going to be coming 40 laps complete right here. Coming to the white flag this time. Flagman's going to have that white flag in hand. Here they come up the straightaway under the Caterpillar sign. It looks like it's under a second now from Daly to Thompson. Daly really closed in that time. Thompson's not going to make it on fuel. We're at 1.08 seconds from first to second. Here comes Daly. Hard brakes down the one. He's trying to get there. Bowie's falling back, and Justin Thompson still can't make it on fuel.
Lining the rotors up in turn 2. Justin Thompson putting every ounce of brake he's got into it. The CSP pedals, if you will. Byron Daly kind of reel him in as they coming into turn 4.
Yeah, this is great stuff. Obviously, doesn't look like he's not going to be close enough to make a pass into that left-hander, but one of the things that Daly's done great down this straightaway is he has been able to outbrake Thompson every time.
Here he comes. Here he's come. He got him that time. He got him down in there really well that time. Oh, Thompson drops the right rear wheel off right there. If he's going to run out, it's going to be any moment now. They said a half lap short. Here comes Daly, closing in really quickly. He's going to try to get him around this kink right here, this right-hand kink. Thompson gets a little bit loose. Here comes Daly, going to come down into the most difficult corner on the track for me, at least. Here comes this tough left-hand corner. Thompson a little bit loose. Daly drives it in there. Here comes Daly. He got through there really good that time under the Speedville sign.
One of the things I'm seeing is it looks like we got a lap car that actually could play a role as we head into the final set of corners if fuel doesn't become an issue first.
If Daly's going to do it, he's got to do it now. Justin Thompson going to lap the rotors up one more time. Into this turn here, the fast turn, got the car on the edge. Byron Daly's car on the edge as they come through for the final 2 laps. Or turns, excuse me.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time left, Mike. Don't have 2 laps left. We have 2 corners left. Thompson's going to run out. He's going to run out any minute now. Here he comes. He's getting closer and closer. He can smell the wind. We don't see him letting up yet. Second to last corner. Here they come into the final corner. Thompson's still under power. Here comes Daly closing in quick. Out of the final corner. Here they come. Up the straightaway. Thompson's still under power. Not out of fuel yet. Listening to his motor. Thompson's going to be your winner tonight, everyone.
Wow.
He made it.
Wow. Justin Thompson, first place. Byron Daly. One heck of a show, guys.
Unbelievable job by Justin Thompson to save that fuel. I mean, he was in a lose-lose situation on fuel, and an unbelievable job and a true testament to his skill to be able to save that fuel to take the win. Unbelievable.
Tell you what, both camps, guys, I know I'm happy. I know both of these camps here and the rest of these guys that race in this race really happy with the performance here tonight.
And we talked earlier with Justin Thompson after winning that first heat race, and he'd ever had in the race car. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happened after this race, because this guy's going to be just done.
You could almost hear gas, that engine sputtering in the number 98 machine as he's turned it off. Now he might be trying to coast back here, guys, to get a couple of victory spins. But we hear Byron Daly still under. He might have just lost it there, guys. You can hear the engine sputtering.
Here we're here to the Thompson only had 0.2 gallons left in the tank, so a fifth of a gallon left in that number 98's tank. Scribner sounds like he's out of gas coming up the hill right here, so you can see these guys barely made it on gas. If they didn't save, they would not have made it.
I'm going to tell you, we're going to try to get the top three, at least the top two in here for an interview. But I tell you, what better way to end the final 20-lap showdown here with the B-Car All-Star race with Road America, Gary Mercer Trucking. I tell you, Brennan probably couldn't have asked for a better race than this. Thompson edging out Byron Daly with a real exciting last couple of laps finish here, guys.
Yeah, most definitely. He had a real good run tonight. Thompson won his heat race, won the main race, had a couple offs, but was able to recover from them very quickly, and pulled off the win tonight in a convincing fashion, having the dominant car tonight. Byron was coming up to him quick, though, at the end. I really thought that Byron was going to get him, but Thompson just had enough fuel. So that solidified his spot as a winner tonight. So great job by Thompson, great job by the whole gang tonight that ran here. They put on a heck of a show.
Tell you what, we're going to get the top three in here, top two if we can, and when we get back, you will hear from Justin Thompson, the race winner. Hopefully we can hear from Byron Daly. If not, Bowie's in the booth with us when we return.
Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. And partnered with Nuff World Simulation Gaming, check out the HD Radio Network's Nuff Radio with Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadionetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. All right, welcome back to Road America, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, some Friday night showdown action here on Thursday night with the All-Star. It was a nail-biter right up until the end. Of course, Magic Fingers, John Wessling, bringing you all the coverage tonight on those Magic Camp to the booth with Michael Keaton, Michael Conti, and Sean Peachin.
Tell you what, exciting. He's caught up with Justin Thompson. Thompson, take us first off through that #1 race. You win it. But I'll tell you what, you're probably more concerned about talking about the last one. Justin Thompson, #1 place finisher here tonight. Thompson, tell us how that run was with Daly.
Oh my God, it was such a nail-biter. I was sitting there watching the fuel gauge just slowly start dropping on that last lap, all the way from turn 1 all the way to the last turn. Oh my God, it was nerve-wracking. But I was sitting there for that whole last run, short shifting, trying to conserve to make sure I had enough. And then when they'd get close, I'd dig and just try to get back away so I could do it again. But oh God, nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I tell you what, we were getting all kinds of reports from Bowie's camp, and we're trying to get some the issue going on with Byron Daly, and then of course we had Austin Atkinson letting us know about your car and the situation with it. And I tell you, Byron Daly trying to make it exciting, you letting off, making it real exciting. I tell you, Austin, walk us through the spotter duties with trying to coach Thompson letting off that fuel to conserve, but not only that, filling the rear view mirror of his machine of Byron Daly.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's one of these things where it's all about keeping your driver calm first off, and Justin stays pretty level-headed. He is one of the DWC drivers on the oval side of things. So it's kind of interesting to see Thompson move over to some road stuff, because that's something where I haven't really spotted for him, and I haven't really spotted on the road side at all for much of anybody. So that was a little bit of a new gig for me. It's a lot more of lap times, keeping up with how many tenths people are gaining on you, keeping up with when people are pitting, because pitting seems to be a lot bigger of an issue with these road courses. But Thompson, he stayed rather level-headed throughout, and we came to the end, we did what we had to do, and we came out on top.
Tell you what, the 98 Justin Thompson taking the money home tonight in the Gary Mercer Trucking B-Car All-Star race. Justin Thompson, who you got to thank?
Got to thank Austin here for doing one hell of a job spotting and keeping tab on me so I could stay out front and be able to conserve all the fuel. Skeleton Optics, if you got any sunglass needs, be sure to check them out, skeletonoptics.com, promo code JThompson for 20% off.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute there, Justin. Don't forget who put the camera on you all night long. I think you owe me a little bit of that cut.
Yeah, I know, John, and you guys here at ETV for putting on the best show in Iracing.
There you have it, folks. And tell you what, going to throw the mic on down to Sean, who's caught up with Brandon Bowie, who finished third. Bowie in a heck of a race here tonight, Sean.
Yeah, Brandon, you had a fantastic finish to the race. A little drama early on, but you were able to climb back to the podium and finish just 4 seconds off. But it looked like there for a while that you were going to run those boys down, and they might have some fuel misfortune. Tell us about that race.
Yeah, the race in the beginning was a little headache with my self-spin, and just trying to battle back and make the right calls to pit and save tires and save fuel. But thought for a little bit I thought I was going to actually be able to hang with the guys, but toward the last 5 laps, I pretty much just ran out of tires, and I couldn't do anything after that. But they definitely was a good fight to watch, though.
Well, we could definitely tell that you were that you had your hands full there for the last few laps. As you closed on Justin Thompson and Byron Daly there towards the end, what was running through your mind? Excitement, nerve-wracking? Let us know.
It was mainly nerve-wracking. I was so worried about running out of fuel. I spotted Brandon right. He just kept asking me how much fuel I had left, kept giving it to him. He was putting it in the calculator, and he said, "You're good to go. It's time to go." And once I knew I was pretty much good to go, is really just worried about just trying to keep my pace and not run off. But Byron and Thompson, they were in a whole other league. I caught them for a little bit, but then they just pulled, and there was nothing I could do after that.
All right, we had another question here from...
Yeah, I tell you, Brandon, watching you all over the back door, Byron Daly giving him a little scare there, going through one of the little hairpin turns there. Thompson probably all but loving it, but I tell you, Bowie, heck of a show there with Daly, and Thompson and Daly also awesome show. And Sean, I tell you, you know, this was a great race. And Conti, you got anything to add?
Well, no, it was just great seeing Brandon drive his butt off, and everyone tonight just driving their butt off, and it looked like everyone was really putting in a lot of effort trying to get to that top spot, trying to get the prestige that you get from winning this race, so you can go into the next season and you know, have those bragging rights. So it's definitely a confidence booster for everyone that finished well tonight.
Yeah, what? Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Oh this race, I'm telling you, like I said, I'm much more of the open wheel and the sports car kind of guy. But anytime I get to watch these stock cars take place on the road course and see guys like Justin, Byron, Brandon, really about 5 other people that we thought had a shot at winning this race, I mean, this was just absolutely amazing stuff and just shows how talented these guys really are. Amazing.
Yeah, and I tell you, one happy camper probably right now in the booth with us right now, Brennan Mercer. Brennan, wow, what a show. Awesome setup that you had here tonight with this All-Star race. I know the guys had fun, and I'm sure you enjoyed this one.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Watched the whole race from start to finish. It was fantastic. The way that I designed the race, I kind of wanted that little bit of fuel mileage aspect at the end. And other than that, I mean, like, these guys put on a hell of a show. You can't ask for anything better. And to put the Mercer Trucking stamp on this race, I think people are going to be watching this race. It's one of those classics. This is going to be a classic for, I don't know, people are going to be talking about this race for a long time.
Yeah,
Yep.
Brennan, sorry to interrupt, guys. Brennan, when you come up with this idea of this All-Star race and you picked this road course, I said, wow, this Canadian has lost his freaking lid. Oh, wow, what a race and what a format you came up with there, buddy.
Well, I didn't pick it. The fans did. I mean, I posted stuff on the forums. I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing an All-Star race. What do you guys want to do? I put 3 things up: Iowa, Indy, and Road America. And Road America won. I mean, this isn't me. This is the iRacing community that voted this. It's quite impressive, and I'm surprised that these oval special guys can run that good. To tell you the truth, I thought this thing was going to be a wreck fest, but I think every single person in here that raced tonight raced really, really well, and raced clean, and raced hard.
Well, we really appreciate you. When I approached you to jump on board with ETV on Friday nights, Brendan, man, what a partnership it's became, and what some awesome racing we've seen this season.
Yeah, 10-4. It's been fantastic. Can't wait for Season 3 next Friday. It's going to be awesome. Season 2, rather. I'm sorry.
I tell you what, again, you can, if you missed half of the race or if you missed a quarter, if you want to watch it all over again, you can. ETV will have the replay momentarily after the race is complete up, and you can enjoy that replay. I know Justin Thompson, Bowie, and Daly, if he gets a chance to go back and watch an exciting race, the B-Car All-Star race here, JD. And one more thing, says Brendan Mercer.
I just got one more thing here. I just did some tabulations. Obviously, Justin Thompson wins the big prize of $50 in iRacing credit. Lance won the heat, one of his heat races. Justin Thompson won one of his heat races. So those go down to Brandon Bowie, who finished second in his heat race, and Mark Gomez, who finished second in his heat race. So they both got $15 in iRacing credit, and Lance won the stint in the feature. He gets a $20 check there as well.
Tell you what, awesome deal there. These guys, you could tell that they were running for a little bit of extra prize here tonight there, Brennan. Putting on one heck of a show from first place to last place. Everybody drove their hearts out and tried to compete to the best of their ability. And I tell you, JD, a lot of fun here. Road America. These guys can turn right after all.
I'll tell you what, lots of fun here tonight, and tune in on Friday nights as we get Season 5 underway here in about a week. So the Friday night showdown, shootout guys here, fantastic racing. A lot of these guys have been racing together for about the last 4 or 5 seasons here on ETV Live every Friday night. Hey, don't miss some more road racing action coming your way. You can join Sean Pivick, Sean Petchin back in the booth again. Liam Jenkins coming to work for ETV Live this Saturday, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern. That's going to be at 2 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon, Cowboys, so tune in to that one. And then some more road racing, actually some dirt racing coming at you on Sunday night. So check the schedule at etv-eplay.net. Big thank you to Brennan Mercer, Michael Keaton, Michael Conti, Sean Petchin joining us here tonight, and of course the cameraman himself, executive producer John Wessling. We call him Magic Fingers around the office, and there's just no better in the business. Dakota Ehrman working pit road for us tonight, guys, and I'll tell you what, it was a house full. here at the All-Star race for the Friday Night Showdown special. So that's it from Road America, Cowboy. We'll see you Saturday afternoon.